Hello, good morning, and welcome to News Morning. I am Kukiti. Now to the headlines. The National Petroleum Authority has announced a reduction in fuel price floors effective May 1, 2026. Retired security officials Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo and Brigadier Nunu Mensah urge government to intensify coordinated crackdown on Galamsey or face severe national consequences. And local government ministry issues a one-week ultimatum to metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives in Greater Accra to remove all unauthorized billboards. Let's take our first story for the morning. And now, in a significant turn for Ghanaian consumers, the National Petroleum Authority has announced a reduction in fuel prices in fuel price floors effective May 1, 2026. Now, the latest adjustment, part of the authority's bi-monthly pricing review, signals a much-needed easing of the financial pressure that has gripped the transport and manufacturing sectors over the past month.
Under the new rates, petrol has been set at 13 cedis 25 pesos per litre, while diesel now stands at 14 cedis 30 pesos per litre. The most notable change comes in the cost of diesel, which is set to drop by 1 cedi and 80 pesos per litre, bringing the floor price down to 14 cedis and 30 pesos. Petrol will see a more marginal reduction of 2 pesos, settling at 13 cedis 25 pesos per litre. The shift reflects a cooling in global crude prices and a stabilization of the cedi after a volatile period in the early April, when geopolitical tensions in the Middle East pushed Brent crude above the $100 mark. While these new rates represent a significant recovery from the April peak, where diesel hit 17 cedis and 10 pesos, prices still remain slightly above the levels recorded during the first quarter of the year. Government decision to intervene by removing selected margins from the price build-up has played a crucial role in this downward trend, though uncertainty remains regarding whether these subsidies will be maintained through the upcoming mid-year fiscal review. The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has reminded all oil marketing companies, AMCs, that while these floors are mandatory, individual stations may add their own margins, leading to slight variations in actual pump prices across the country.
All right, let's move on this morning. As retired security officials, Captain retired Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo and Brigadier General Joseph Nunu Mensah are calling on government to intensify the crackdown on illegal mining. Now, speaking at a town hall meeting to reflect their past for the future, they explained that without a coordinated and forceful approach, the long-term cost of illegal mining, Galamsey, to the country could be very severe.
Illegal mining continues to threaten Ghana's forests, rivers and farmland. Various governments have adopted different approaches to the fight, but to no avail. The current government National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, was established in 2025 to combat illegal small-scale mining in Galamsey. Speaking at a town hall meeting, a former Chief of Defence Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier Joseph Nunu Mensah, and statesman Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo both called for a coordinated and forceful approach in dealing with the menace of illegal mining.
We are not dealing with the problem. We are tinkering with the problem. We are wiping the problem off. We are not dealing with it. When people are threatening your life, your livelihood, we are all at risk. We are at the point of being killed. Declare martial law. Suspend the laws of the country and give them special power to deal with the problem. It will be dealt with. We are not doing that.
The way I see what is happening, we have people in the various reserve forests with equipments that will not be easy to control, and they are destroying our natural resources because of few dollars or money that they will get. And government cannot deny it, that no other group apart from the military can solve this problem, because the military, when given order, they will carry it out to the latter.
The two former military officers also pushed for strategic leadership at the Defense Ministry to strengthen the national response.
So the military, they respect maturity and rank. So you don't send a young man to go there as a defense minister. In fact, it has never happened in our history. Right down from Nkrumah's time, those who have been defense ministers are matured people. When I say matured, somebody 40 plus, 50 going. They are mature people because they will not take decisions just roughly like that. You have to be careful with that ministry.
Whether you have a defense minister, you can run the government. You can do it. I know you can do it. When one of the American chief of staff, when the Riga was shot, one of these American generals, who was the White House chief of staff, they asked who was in charge. I'm in charge. He took over power. Don't sit down and do nothing. That's what the army is there for.
President Mahama, speaking at the Jubilee House last year, said the substantive defense minister will be announced after the Christmas holidays. It's been almost 5 months, and the announcement is yet to be made.
Let's move to health-related matters, as Ghana has reportedly rejected a proposed bilateral health agreement with the United States, according to a source familiar with the negotiations. Now, the decision marks another hurdle in Washington's broader push to restructure how it delivers foreign aid, particularly in the health sector. The proposed deal was expected to shift assistance away from traditional multilateral channels toward direct country-to-country agreements. Such arrangements often come with specific conditions on how funds are used, how programs are implemented, and what outcomes are prioritized. Now, in other news, small and medium-scale businesses in the Volta region are bearing the brunt of the ongoing electricity crisis. Business owners, in an interaction with TV3's Faisal Abdul-Idrisu in Ho, say the intermittent power outages cut deep, affecting sales and income.
Electricity supply across the Volta region has become increasingly unstable in the last few days as the country struggles through what appears to be another phase of power supply crisis. Power goes off and returns intermittently, presenting an unpredictable situation for businesses, particularly those that rely solely on electricity for their operations. The impact, according to business owners in the Volta regional capital, cuts deep, affecting operations and income.
I think it's affecting the AC more because we've changed AC like 2 times already. It affects the lighting too at the shop. Sometimes the faces can just go off. Sometimes it goes off like for 4 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes so we close. The next day when we come, so there won't be lights. Sometimes we use gen, and most of the time so the gen is faulty, so we off it. And sometimes so we can just tell the client to come back the next day. It's not every client that would like to return the same day, so it's really affecting us.
Due to the low current, when you are charging fridge, the motor can just damage like that, and the air conditions too, they don't work. It's affecting our work. It is delaying our work too. We used to sell motor to fridge motors, air conditioning motors. We used to sell to our customers, but due to the low current, when they fix it, it damaged their distance, so we are no more selling it again.
The situation is widespread as households and businesses outside Ho report same. At a recent meeting with the Volta Regional Minister, the acting managing director of ECG explained that the region's transmission with a capacity of 69 kV requires an upgrade to be able to meet the demand as part of plans to address the erratic power supply.
The network that we have here, especially the transmission grid in the Volta region, was built in the 80s. So the load or demand in the region has grown beyond the network. The transmission voltage here in Ghana, in the Volta region, is 69, when in the rest of the country is 161. And the higher the voltage, the better the quality of the what we can serve the region. So what is happening requires much more work, a lot of work, because it requires an upgrade. It requires that we build new transmission line from Asiepa all the way to Kejabi. Last year, the government started working on it.
Still with power, the Public Utility Workers Union, PUWU, says more than 8,000 workers of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, are living in fear. Their concern follows accusations from some political actors who claim that ECG staff are deliberately sabotaging the nation's power supply. General Secretary of PUWU, Timothy Nyame, has warned that the issue may create industrial disharmony in the energy sector.
The Public Utilities Workers Union (PUW) says if accusations and threats against Electricity Company of Ghana workers are not halted, they risk destabilizing industrial harmony across the entire energy sector. This comes at a time when many Ghanaians are already enduring prolonged power outages. For weeks now, communities across the country have been plunged into darkness, disrupting businesses, education, and daily life. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition explains that the outages are partly due to ongoing upgrades by the Electricity Company of Ghana. However, the situation worsened last week after a fire damaged a Gridco transmission substation that evacuates electricity generated from the Akosombo Dam, deepening the crisis. In response, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Dr. John Jinapo, has taken decisive action, directing the head of Gridco to step aside to allow for investigations into the incident. At the same time, the minister has instructed ECG to provide regular updates on power outages, as pressure mounts from citizens demanding transparency and predictability.
I've directed ECG provide periodic updates on regional basis, areas that will be affected every 12 hours, because it's a very short duration. Like I said, we are looking at this week, so you can't do a weekly schedule.
Meanwhile, the General Secretary of the Public Utilities Workers Union, Timothy Nyame, is calling for calm. He's urging those making allegations against ECG workers to stop, warning that such claims are putting lives at risk and threatening peace within the sector.
Commentators are making those comments, and you see a vehicle that is on duty. When they attack it, when they vandalize it, when they attempt to harm our members, and you know one life is so dear when it comes to this industrial relation. You know, one life is so dear. These are the people who have sacrificed. They have applied to work. And you are giving them the work and they are doing the work. When they are not working, you sanction them. Is that not what they do? They sanction them continuously when they don't work. But when they are working, and then there's a record, there's evidence that, oh, this one is not to them, and you blame them, we have cause of. So we are calling on them to refrain from doing that, and so that they don't put them in the public ridicule.
PUW is also backing growing public calls for a clear and reliable load shedding timetable, so that households and businesses can better plan in the face of ongoing outages.
If they know that this particular area will go off and they are going to do, what we know is that the damage at VRA, Akosombo, has affected a power supply, and then, but they are trying, this is what we have been briefed, they are trying their possible best to make sure that power is sustained.
For now, the nation waits, hoping for answers, stability, and above all, a return to normalcy.
In other news, employers have been implored to help in creating workplaces that protect employees' mental health, manage stress, and prevent burnout. Marking this year's World Day for Safety and Health at Work, the Safety, Health, Environment and Quality Practitioners Association of Ghana further called on governments to ensure these employers treat psychological safety with the same importance as physical safety.
Research reveals that a safe working environment leads to the ultimate well-being of staff. Advocates have championed the need for employers to ensure the safety and health of workers at all times. In view of this, the World Day for Safety and Health at Work Conference 2026 gave essence to these calls and many more. Practitioners, staff, and all other relevant agencies were brought together to assess best practices and better ways of making the workplace safe. President of the Safety, Health, Environment and Quality Practitioners Association of Ghana, Shekpa Ghana, Engineer Kuya Brentu Amu, explained that modern trends required modern ways of making the workplace safe.
This year, having ILO change the theme on the more softer side of health and safety, our expectation is that our employees and businesses alike will think in the direction in which ILO is going, that we should not just focus on the physical safety, but mental health issues should also pay attention to.
Chief Operating Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Ahmed Dasana Naktoma, was concerned about the high risk in the mining space, describing the conference as timely.
Without the employee, you can't produce anything. So we say that a safe employee is a productive mind. So we take care of them. They are trained. They have well-being programs, capacity building, health and safety training, and all kinds of standards that you apply. So your employee at every point in time will be well-trained in order to deliver more. And the more they deliver, the more the mine is profitable.
Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, Technical Services and Explosives at the Mining Commission, Desmond Boahin, emphasized the need to give priority to psychological risk, a risk that is less talked about.
Yes, sometimes you have minor injuries, but mining is a very high-risk venture. So health and safety concerns are serious. And that's why you have the mine spending a lot to ensure that everybody entering the mine comes out the same way that person went into the mine.
This year's celebration was under the theme Psychological Working Environments, a pathway to thriving workers and strong organizations.
Well, moving on, marine artisanal canoe fishers have once again been exempted, I beg your pardon, from the annual closed fishing season. Now, the exemption, according to the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Emilia Arthur, is intended to protect livelihoods while ensuring an inclusive and balanced approach to fisheries management. However, industrial trawlers and semi-industrial vessels will observe 2 months and 1 month closed seasons, respectively.
Industrial fishing fleets operating within Ghana's waters will, from July 1st, 2026, observe a 2-month closed season to August 31st as the government rolls out this year's closed fishing season. The closed fishing season is aimed at rebuilding declining fish stocks and curbing overfishing. Ghana's fisheries sector has, over the last few years, come under increasing pressure due to overfishing, illegal methods, and environmental degradation. Overexploitation by industrial fleet and other bad fishing practices are a cause for concern. Closed fishing season is an effective management measure for restoring fish stock as it allows fish to reproduce. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, together with the Fisheries Commission, announced that enforcement will be tightened this year, warning that violators will face sanctions under the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act 2025, Act 1146. Artisanal canoe fishers, however, have been exempted from the closure. The exemption is intended to protect coastal households and communities whose livelihoods depend directly on small-scale fishing activities. Despite the exemption, artisanal fishers are still required to comply with existing fisheries laws and observe traditional fishing holidays set by their local communities. Emilia Arthur is the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture.
The 2026 closed season program is to avoid undue economic hardship and unintended post-closure fishing pressure that undermines conservation gains, whilst considering the nutritional provision from canoe fishers, as 80% of the fish consumed in Ghana comes from canoe fishers, and 60% of Ghana's animal protein comes from fish. The ministry calls on all stakeholders to support this measure.
The ministry says it will continue to work with scientists and industry stakeholders to assess the biological, social, and economic impact of the policy and refine future interventions.
And that's it for News Morning. I am Cookie T, but please do stay with us for TV3 Newday. So the way you were vibing and dancing and all of that, I thought you would just introduce.
I actually enjoy the songs, but sometimes I don't get to keep all the names.
It's a very serious issue.
I'll work on it, don't worry.
Please. It's a very serious issue that she would always, be vibing to the songs, but she doesn't know the name of the artist, title of the song. Title of the song is even forgivable. I mean, it's not everyone who can know the title of the song, but at least the artist, hey.
I think what I'll do is I'll prepare a playlist of songs for you. You shouldn't just be playing them and driving. You should take your time and look at
the personalities behind them.
That's by EL. I call him Don Jaga.
Okay.
Don who?
Don Jaga.
Why do you call him Don Jaga?
It's one of his aliases. I mean, I think a while back it used to be his X handle. Now Twitter used to be his X handle. Don Jaga.
Oh, I love him. Yeah. I love him as Lomi. He calls himself Lomi. Because he's Elom as well. So
I mean,
Lomi, yes.
Fantastic,
we know
fantastic
you don't know,
musician.
so it's okay.
Former artist of the year. I think he's actually having a program in the
London.
United Kingdom.
Yes,
in the United Kingdom. So he's been moving around. You know this thing they do on the streets. I don't know how they call that place. King's Crossing or something.
King's Cross.
Yeah, that's what it is.
King's Cross train station.
King's Cross train station.
There's a very popular train station.
The way I make kind of, it said some local joints here. Okoto beans only some local boy become a sema. Who describing the person I've seen where you're talking about.
King's Cross St. Pancras. That's
King's Crossing.
St. Pancras.
Okay. So
that's the popular train station.
Let me bring you now. Let me bring you now. I'm coming now. I'll come there.
Okay.
So you know what they do there? What they do there is that there is this DJ, I think DJ AJ or something like that.
Yeah.
So he sets up there in the public place. So he has the turntable and everything there.
Yeah.
He plays music. So artists come around.
Yeah.
They take the microphone and they perform.
So he's hosted
Black
Burna Boy,
Black Sherif has been there, Stone Boy, this guy, what's the name? The guy who slapped someone at the Oscars.
Will Smith. Will Smith has been there as
well. Like I mean, Kiddy, like everyone. I mean, all the big, even Big Man, everyone, almost everyone. I mean, it's a part, and Neo was there not too long ago as part of.
When are you going to be hosted since you rap?
Well, I would have to get some few music under my belt. But you know the song I'm jamming to these days. I'm not sure if you've heard it.
Which one is it?
Asana.
Oh,
you know that song?
Goodness, I've seen it.
You've seen it,
I've seen it on social media.
And there's a part of the song. It says Ofihi. I say la badi.
That's la badi.
So I've seen him go around the streets and he's holding a microphone. So he sings a line.
Yes.
And he expects you to continue.
Yes. God, sometimes I wonder how it's social media. You know, these days the thing about social media is that, and because of artificial intelligence, you don't have to you just stay a little bit.
And then the algorithm will just suggest a whole lot more.
It's assuming that because you stayed on a little bit, you like it. So you just keep seeing such content.
Right.
I mean, it's a whole new way of meeting our needs and everything. But it's fun. It's all amazing.
Welcome to the morning of 29th April 2026. One more day and April is over. May will be here. Friday is May Day. A lot of people are excited because you won't wake up to go to work. Of course, it's Labor Day. It's a free day for labor, so you get to stay in your houses. But we do get to come here again just to keep you educated, entertained, and informed. So we will be here on Friday. But a lot is going on. Some people are saying they don't want to be part of the Labor Day, holiday. We'll get into all of that.
Oh, you can join us here.
Yes, but a lot is going on in the world of electricity and water. I'm grappling with a severe flu from last night into this morning. I didn't get a timetable yesterday, but our lights went off around 6:30. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if you got a timetable. I'm not sure if your area had a timetable.
They've made it clear that they are not giving us a timetable because this is just 1 week. And with the one that is supposed to take place within 3 months.
Yesterday we saw that for the Eastern region. There was another one for Ashanti region. And then I saw OT and the Volta region. And remember I asked her in the morning and that why doesn't Accra have a timetable, because are we not going to go off? But many parts yesterday had gone off, and it's also affecting water flow. Taps are not flowing in many areas. Ghana Water Company is already complaining that because of the inefficiency in water, in electricity supply, they are also not able to supply water. So it's actually a ripple effect, you know. In this country, one thing gets affected and then it's a ripple effect on many other things as well. So this morning, we want to ask you, what's still the electricity situation in your area as well as water flow? Yesterday, as late as 10 p.m., the minister had written on his Facebook wall that the 4th unit was up and running.
It was actually before 10.
It was before 10,
yes, it was around 9:40 there about. I had
right.
Richmond Roxon on agenda.
Say it.
And he just paused us and said that the 4th unit had just come on stream. So that makes it 4.
So even with the 4th unit, we want to find out exactly what's going on. Well, they've told us that there still would be pockets of power outages, you know, in some areas, because of course there are weak cables that they have to replace. There are very old transformers that must be replaced as well. But infusing this into the whole Gridco fire incident and some of the units going off and all of that, I'm not sure which is which this morning. Is it really the maintenance, the change of the transformers that is emanating in the power outages, or it was the Gridco fire outbreak?
I mean, from the information we were given, it looks like the fire played a major role
in
the current situation that we've had to endure. But if we have 4 out of 6 on stream, then we should expect that things should improve. Because aside from the Akosombo thing, again, the rippling effect you talked about was on Pung. And so if Akosombo at least has had 4 coming back, we should be able to, well, based on the communication by Felix Kwachofosu, which was about 30 minutes before 9, right? It was after 8 p.m. He said that, Pung had come back because the 3rd one had been restored. And he even mentioned, I think we had Assad last night when he posted a 240 megawatts deficit or so. So if we have the 4th one on, the situation should improve.
And yesterday I was following keenly on agenda when Richmond Roxon was giving you the figures, you know, as to which station gives us what.
Yes.
And it amounted to a little less than 6,000.
Yes.
What is it?
6,000 megawatts.
Megawatts of power. And then you asked him what Akosombo contributes, and he said about 1,200. 1,020.
Yes.
Okay, and then you mentioned that if you take out 1,020, why do we still have a deficit?
Yes, because
the peak panel member.
The peak is 4,300 and something.
Yeah, so if it is, but you see, he was also trying to let you know that there's a difference between installed power and what is available.
Yeah.
And when you asked the question of what's available, what did you deduce?
He got 3,800 and something. Yes, less than 4,000.
Of available. Not installed.
Yes,
available.
which means that there's still the shortfall.
Yeah, I mean, that's the substantive point. And for me, when you guys were having the conversation, that's just what I was looking out for. Anyone who has paid attention to whatever communication government has put out there, the conclusion that you reach if you follow the numbers closely is the fact that we are not generating in excess. We are just on the edges. And so it obviously means that anytime there is any knockoff, we have a problem. And as a country, it's a part of the conversation that we must have in all honesty. Because imagine people are, and sometimes I say to people that maybe forgive me, I watch too many Hollywood movies. But when anyone wants to destabilize your country, imagine if this happens to multiple plants across the country, not just one. It would virtually mean that a lot of things will come to a standstill.
Power and water, very critical.
Yeah, I mean, we'll basically struggle. I mean, we just a couple of weeks, we've seen the complaints that have come from businesses. Yesterday, we heard from people in the Volta region. We heard from those in the Eastern region as well. Welders who couldn't work the whole day. We heard from people who run cold stores who were showing us items that have gone bad and all of that. And so, substantively, I remember the conversation some years back used to be about whether we needed that large number of installed capacity. Now we know that even with the installed capacity, it does not equal the generating capacity. It's not necessarily mean that, but we just need that. It just means that we need reserves so that whatever shock it is, we should be able to get there. And gradually, I remember some years back, around 2007, you know when they used to pray for Akosombo Dam.
Yeah.
Thermal has become so key in the mix now, moving away from hydro. So the conversation about the other sources, nuclear, solar especially. Solar especially. One of our colleagues, Dennis, they have solar at home. So he texted me, he showed me, he took a video.
Yeah. He was large and in charge.
Yeah, the lights were off, and he was like, I mean, you guys can be doing your megawatts. They,
but
they don't care.
solar has a limit. Unless we've improved with technology, it's not everything solar is able to power. But I guess with improved
it depends on
technology, you can do that.
the facility, the installation that you do, and the capacity to store. It can basically power your entire residence. I mean, but it just costs a bit more.
Exactly, I think that is where the conversation has been. That hydro is the cheapest, right?
Yes.
Thermal is very expensive because you're buying fuel, and if you consider the exchange rate and all of that, it becomes even extra expensive to do that. So aside from thermal and solar, which is equally expensive because of the battery and all of that, renewable energy, wind, I mean, I mean, we have so much that we can really explore. So the argument is we need to be able to invest in these things. It may cost immediately, but eventually, if you look at really how the benefits, then we get to benefit in the long run. But
I mean,
really,
and I mean, even the point about this faulty wires and transformers.
We've been talking about it since
I remember
in 2016.
You remember even post 2016 when Napo was energy minister. I remember he was, and funny enough, the same expression he used. He said, "Doom CSA." They are putting up the light. In fact, we decided to move the car power plant from Greater Accra. We took it to the Middle Belt, the Ashanti region area,
just to deal with the power situation there.
And we are in 2026. We are still having a conversation about Doom CSA once again. I think, and for the ordinary Ghanaian, I think it's a conversation that we need to have outside of the politics, because if your light is off, it does not matter whether you voted for NPP or NDC, your light is off.
I mean, yesterday in the morning, somebody said, if they are taking the whole community off, they will not come and find out, do you hold NPP card or NDC card? And if you go to the filling station and you're buying...
It doesn't know party colors.
Exactly. I mean, they won't ask you for your number. And that's really what I sought to get from Richmond Roxin. Because if we have 1,020 off, let's assume that bone is 200, like we've been told. If we are producing... And I mean, if we are producing even close to the full capacity, which is a little under 6,000, and our peak is 4,300 something, it shouldn't be a problem. And that's why I asked specifically, what is giving us what? Because if these things are producing at full capacity,
it's just a minute fraction.
Exactly. And so I agree with a bit about the transparency.
I mean, the greatest... I think the day I really felt it so much was on Saturday. I mean, I had been at work the whole day.
Can you imagine?
And when I got to work, I checked and I realized the lights had gone off.
That's the most
I got home at 9 p.m. The lights were still off, and the lights came back at 6 a.m.
That's the
on
most
Sunday.
difficult part. You remember I told you yesterday that we need a schedule so that if it will not come, it will not be on, I won't go home.
Yes.
Only to end up in the house and then the lights were totally off.
Because yesterday when we left and I got home, I had light out.
You see, it's just
and I needed to rest a bit to come back for agenda, but
it's terrible.
I couldn't.
And for some of us, the heat affects our health as well.
Yes.
You know, when you're breathing in stuffy, very, very hot air, it affects your health. And I'm sure a lot of people are also going through it.
Yeah, there's a bit of architectural angle to this. And I remember, because when we used to be very young, when I was young, I remember when the lights go off, we just open the
windows.
The windows, and we are fine.
Yeah.
I think we've cut down a lot of the trees, and secondly, the way we are building.
We were having this conversation yesterday. Because back in the day, if the lights went out, that's when we'll come out onto the compound. Some will lay down mats and you can sleep. These days, when you go out, the inside is even colder than outside, because we've cut down all the trees. We shouldn't have done that because we've got a lot of rich vegetation here in Ghana. We shouldn't have done that.
And also the building, the architecture. So in the past, they used to check the wind direction to determine how they adjust the windows. But these days, because they are going to do the sliding windows with air conditioners inside, they basically they just want to put a house how they want to put it.
And even the materials you use in the building and the technology, because I mean the whole idea was when you're inside and it's even a bit hot, you shouldn't feel the heat that much. But now, when it is hot, it's like you know. It's
I mean on Saturday I roamed, like I literally, I mean a big house. I moved virtually into almost every part of the house
just to see where
and then everywhere was basically the same. It was still warm everywhere.
We've gotten it very wrong. I don't know how we can rectify or correct it moving forward, because in places where they've cut the trees now, they've even laid tiles. So how do you undo that to even grow trees? And what happened to the 12 million trees project and the 5 million trees project? I know, in Ghana, I don't know. Anyway, we would activate the telephone lines, and, well, we'll be switching over, I'm sure, pretty soon to the meteorological service to also tell us if the rains are starting, because this one was very unexpected. It started around 3 a.m. I'm not sure if it's still raining around your area, but you can tell us how it's affected you. So 3 things this morning. How is the electricity power outage affecting you? How did the rains affect you? And how is the water flow also affecting you this morning? Welcome. We'll activate the phone lines in no time.
Supply across the Volta region has become increasingly unstable in the last few days as the country struggles through what appears to be another phase of power supply crisis. Power goes off and returns intermittently, presenting an unpredictable situation for businesses, particularly those that rely solely on electricity for their operations. The impact, according to business owners in the Volta regional capital, cuts deep, affecting operations and income.
I think it's affecting the AC more because we've changed AC like 2 times already. It affects the lightning too at the shop. Sometimes the faces can just go off. Sometimes it goes off like for 4 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes so we close. The next day when we come, so there won't be lights. Sometimes we use gen, and most of the time so the gen is faulty, so we off it. And sometimes so we can just tell the client to come back the next day. It's not every client that would like to return the same day, so it's really affecting us.
Due to the low current, when you are charging fridge, the motor can just damage like that, and the air conditions too, they don't work. It's affecting our work. It is delaying our work too. We used to sell motor to fridge motors, air conditioning motors. We used to sell to our customers, but due to the low current, when they fix it, it damaged their distance, so we are no more selling it again.
The situation is widespread as households and businesses outside Ho report same. At a recent meeting with the Volta Regional Minister, the acting managing director of ECG explained that the region's transmission with a capacity of 69 kV requires an upgrade to be able to meet the demand as part of plans to address the erratic power supply.
The network that we have here, especially the transmission grid in the Volta region, was built in the 80s. So the load or demand in the region has grown beyond the network. The transmission voltage here in Ghana, in the Volta region, is 69, when in the rest of the country is 161. And the higher the voltage, the better the quality of the what we can serve the region. So what is happening requires much more work, a lot of work, because it requires an upgrade. It requires that we build new transmission line from Asiepa all the way to Kejabi. Last year, the government started working on it.
Let's get into the details this morning, and Joseph Akable is by our dashboard to tell us exactly what's going on. But we've been discussing electricity outages over the period. It's also affecting water flow. A lot of areas are already complaining of water shortage. We are discussing that this morning. And of course, the rains, we experienced some heavy downpour from dawn till this morning, and we'll be going to the Ghana Meteorological Service to ascertain if the rainy season has started officially, or this was just one off that we are just not supposed to worry about. So we're activating the phone lines in no time. You can call us, contribute, but please do listen to us with the telephone device with which you have called. Don't listen to us through the TV set, please, and make sure that your submissions are very short so other people can also call in. So we are discussing electricity power outages. We are discussing a water shortage and the rains this morning. How have all these 3 elements, which are very essential to our daily to and fro, have affected you? And yes, phone lines have been activated. But before then, of course, Joseph Akable is by the dashboard to tell us what the Ghana Water Company is saying.
Yes, so we'll start off first with the Ghana Water Company, that statement that we made a reference to about the impact of the power outage on water supply, and also something that is happening at one of their treatment plants. Very interesting. Then we'll move on and also talk to you about the updates from the Energy Ministry yesterday. Then we'll conclude on what the schedule looks like for today, for those of you in different parts of the country, what implication it will have. That schedule was published before the minister actually put out the fact that the 4th out of the 6th unit is back online. So we do not know whether that schedule will be amended or not. But first, the statement from the Ghana Water Company here, and it says that management of the Ghana Water Company Limited wishes to inform our cherished customers and the public of the water supply challenges currently being experienced across the Tema and the Accra regions. It goes on to indicate that the primary cause of the current disruptions is the ongoing instability in power supply to the Kpong water treatment plant and associated booster stations as well. And the Kpong plant supplies a significant portion of potable water to both the Tema and Accra East regions, and therefore serves a large section of the eastern part of Accra and adjoining communities. And it adds that they want to emphasize that water production and distribution operations are heavily dependent on electricity. The treatment process, pumping systems, transmission facilities, and booster stations all require stable and continuous power supply to function efficiently. And there's the other part that they've also indicated that as a result of that, fluctuations in power supply directly affect their ability to produce and distribute water to customers as well. And this is the final one that I'll end with. There's something else that is happening there. They say that there's the influx of aquatic weeds at the intake point, which has further compounded the situation. While this remains a usual occurrence, the recent heavy rains in the Akosombo area have significantly worsened the situation. So that's the statement from the Ghana Water Company. We are going to show you what the Energy Minister put out yesterday as well. We made reference to it early on, making a point that he had said that 4 out of the 6 units that went off as a result of the situation at Akosombo have been dealt with. So this was the last update that he brought. But we go a bit backwards and you see that prior to that, the same yesterday, and it goes to show the kind of efforts that was being put out there by our engineers who are working around the clock to get this fixed. So he first put out there that I can confirm that earlier today, the 3rd unit at Akosombo was successfully put into operation. And this milestone will improve power generation and enhance supply reliability. He went on to add that it also reflects our continued commitment to maintaining a resilient power system. The technical team is currently working diligently to bring on the 4th unit. So this was just getting to the evening, around 6-7 p.m. thereabout. Then a couple of hours later at 9:09, he again gave an update after 9 p.m., indicating to us that at 9:09 p.m., the 4th unit at Akosombo Dam was successfully brought into operation, an encouraging step that strengthens power generation and reflects the dedication and expertise of the team behind the effort as well. And so that is what the Energy Minister put out there. But like I was saying earlier on, before he put this one out, there had been a schedule that had been put out in terms of affected areas as a result of the situation that we have on hand there. And let's take a look at that. We see it right over here. And what we are going to see here is the Akosombo substations, the area that is affected due to the Akosombo substation. And the ECG wishes to inform our cherished customers, particularly in Volta and OT regions, that due to the fire outbreak at Great Coast substation at Akosombo, which we all know about, that the period to be affected, the duration, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., that is today, 29th April 2026. And the affected areas are all listed there. You can find them on our social media platforms, starting from Toko and going all the way to the South Dai area, the new Kaira area, Gemini as well is also affected, and Peki and its surrounding areas. And I always say that the part of the statement that I always like is the surrounding areas. When you go through it, you don't see your area there. You go through it, you don't see your area.
Area is in the surrounding areas.
Okay. Not knowing you are captured
in the surrounding areas.
Yeah. So still within that same area as well, Volta and OT regions, this is 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. So this was 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. And then we again see parts of Hohoy as well. Adidome Township is also in there. Dabra is also in there as well. I see Clefe, Mache, Nive, Shave, all those areas, and Fueta towns all those areas. I'm a Jope. I like that place. I'm a Jope. It's also captured in there. And once again, the surrounding areas. So if your area is not in there, just know that
it's in the surrounding areas.
If you are close to any of these areas, then still, it appears the Volta and OT will be heavily affected as well. So we can end here. We have Lolobi towns, Likwe, the Sala areas as well, also being affected as well. Sokode is also in there.
Which one?
And so this is
where is it?
Look out
on the
there.
third line.
Which area?
Gafa Chikope.
Ah, I got it.
Okay.
Yes,
Gafa Chikope.
Okay.
Yeah, Tovie, Logoku Kope, Akachi Township, Jirakate, Atijive, Abo, Tajahu,
There's a place.
Avalavi.
It's in this place.
Which one?
Beach. It's called Beach.
Oh, it's just beach.
Yeah, it's called Beach. It's called Beach. Yeah. I mean, so these are
Aflao low cost, and then Denu low cost, Chito Township, and of course, its surrounding areas.
When you are around.
Yeah.
So these are some of the areas that will be affected. And this is Ashanti region now. And I mean, Ashanti region has been one of the regions that has been affected as well. And from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. to Domiabra and Promase, Apiedu, all those areas will be affected as well. Nyantreniasie, Nkarie, Tuasi, Esikuma, and surrounding areas.
So which means that light should have been restored in this area, in these areas by now, because it's 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. this morning, 29th of April. So if you live in any of these areas, you can call us so we know if power has been restored. Menshia, Kuforidia, Kokobeng, Brofuye Drew, Nkransa, Kuchi, Saban, Akrofum, Kokotrease, Old Abompe, Enyinem, parts of Esianempong, Kwamang, Sanfo, Edriam, Edumasa, is it Kokotro? Yes. Atasomanso, Sokobeng, is it Daban? Adiebeba, Ahojo, Sapase. Listen, I just love Ghana.
Yeah. The names.
I saw Ascendia in there as well.
I didn't know there was a Kuntuna in the Ashanti region.
Akrowa, Kodie, Apeja, Krofum, Patase. Charlie, nice names. Anyway,
I mean, so that's the
and
situation.
it's surrounding areas.
Yes, and it's surrounding areas. I mean, once you are close to them and you're not mentioned, you could be affected as well. But all these were put out, like I did mention, before the minister announced that the fourth out of the sixth is back online, and so we don't know whether there's going to be an amendment to this or not. But this is the situation that we have on our hands now. And if you are in those areas, you can call into the show and indicate to us whether you have power now or you do not have power now.
Why are we not seeing that of Greater Accra though? It still bothers me very much because when I was coming in this morning, there was no light. The whole area was still very dark in the rain.
I mean, it's a very important question. I haven't seen any for Greater Accra. I'm on the power app. They have the power app where they put out the releases there as well. And I've been checking. I've not seen my area in there, but the lights go off.
But you don't have light.
Yes, I mean, it goes off anyway. So
anyway. Thank you, Joseph Akable. We'll get onto the phone lines now. Do call us. Please keep your submissions very precise and concise so other people can also call in. And I'm told Peter T, who lives here in Accra, is our very first caller. Peter, good morning.
Good morning.
Peter, you're sounding a bit nebulous. Can you raise your voice a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Isa calling from Bole.
Okay,
Peter.
so this is not Peter T.
Yes, no, this is Isa.
Okay, Peter from Bole, talk to us. Oh, Isa from Bole. Okay, Isa, please talk to us.
Yes. I think the power upgrade, I think is sad and is worrying us. I'm speaking to you 3 days ago. The Bole own was terrible. It was just going around 24 hours. And these days, because of the technology, if you are doing business without power, I think it's worrying. But let's pray that the energy minister, I think if you give a job to a Gonja man, I think he does it well. I believe the energy minister, he will do the right thing.
Okay.
So let's all pray for him for him to fix the light.
Okay. Thank you very much, Isa from Bole. You can also call us. We'll do all to read the messages as well.
Yes.
I can tell you have some coming in.
Yes,
already.
a number have already come in. Let me read from first. Prince Henry Koforidia says, good morning. We are not getting timetable because it is not something that would last for more than a week. And as we speak, engineers have been able to bring 4 out of the 6 units back from the Akosombo substation. By the end of the week, the remaining 2 will come back. We must commend the engineers and technical team of the Energy Ministry for a wonderful job. So that is coming from Prince Henry Koforidi, and he says, God bless our homeland, Ghana. I can read this before we go to Peter T. I'm told Peter T is on with us. Kwamina Acidity from Hafo Achensia says, good morning, beautiful ladies. My government is trying every possible means to solve power crises which are affecting this country. Those who are complaining about Dumso have come our MPP sympathizers. Special Fugu Wednesday to Owusu Nkrumah Babio, incoming Ahafo regional chairman for the NDC. Kwamina Acidity Ahafo Achensia, thank you very much for your message. Perhaps you can go to Peter T now.
Yes,
good
Peter.
morning.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning, Peter T.
Yeah, good morning, Cookie T. I hope you guys are doing well.
We're well, thank you.
In fact, this morning when you were giving the news and the concluding parts, and you just mentioned your name, Cookie T, it really had some very radical effect in my mind.
Hey, Peter
T. You guys are very beautiful, Cookie T.
Thank you, Peter.
Cookie T, you see, the problem that we are facing now, I think that we must begin to applaud the minister, especially for his first press conference that he had about 3 days ago to inform public about problems that is facing the country when it comes to electricity power generation. And those are the things that we want to hear. But I just also want to put it into these cautionary measures that it shouldn't be press conferences to announce some of these problems. The action that's supposed to support this must also always be very effective. Because light is everything. Light is everything. Water is everything. These are 2 basic things that produce Ghanaians. They are needful, yes, they are needful. Whatever they want to do, it is water and electricity. Because, you know what? I think you yourself there, I know the role that you play in TV3. And I always say that if you are a leader and you set a bad precedent, it comes around to haunt you. And it will continue to affect your legacy in future. And we don't want such things to happen like the history that we had in the past. Nanado and Baumia, the way they treated this country, especially the people of this country. So kudos government, kudos Mahama, kudos minister. But let me also finish by expressing and then using your medium to say good morning to Alaji Yaya Kondo. He's the liaison officer, national security. This is a hard-working person. And then Honorable Madi, Director for Election NDC, Mr. Emmanuel Ashali Tete, Data Regional Liaison Officer, National Security. Finally, Honorable Seama Ava.
All right, Peter. Thank you very much for calling us. Do have yourself a great day. You can also call us and let us know what your thoughts are on the electricity outages that we're experiencing all across the country, which is in turn affecting water supply. Do you have water in your area? How many days has it been off? And this morning, hopefully you've been able to make it to work. It was a heavy downpour from around 3 a.m. in the morning. Do let us know what your thoughts are. And I'm told from Savlugu, the incoming NDC communicator for Savlugu, Alaji Beniyu Bunsheri, is on the telephone lines. Alaji, how are you?
How are you?
Not too good this morning, but yeah, I'm here. Let's hear you, Alaji.
What's my friend, Roland? Is well.
Roland is on to other assignments. You'll see him soon.
Okay, and now
yes, they are both on assignment.
Let me send a suggestion to Shami Mamuse has Balajalas and Chairman for Sampo and Dr. Abukar Umbe, municipality, it's very good to vying for the next regional organizer for Eastern region. And your friend Aziz Dola from WA also vying for the communication officer for the WA So let me listen to them. Is it Kukiti? When you look at that, this livestock, but livestock did not affect us in northern region too much, because in my community we don't experience that kind of big livestock.
You haven't faced any of the power outages in Savlugu. Is that what you're saying, Alaji?
Yes, that's it.
Nothing at all.
No, nothing at all.
Wow.
They off it more time after the getting to even 30 seconds. They on the light again. Off and on we see, and I think there are some technical challenges and we have been facing. So we thank them for what they did for us. But let me tell you, this livestock, we need to blame some people. We need to blame them. You know, when these people saying that if John Drama and Mahman back, and they will be doing so in this country, because of that existing happening, and they went there to burn the Akusumbo, some of the machines, because of what? They want to punish Ghanaians. Such people may need to come near close into power again. Because they don't like the country. They want the country to go backwards. Because of that, and they do these things for us.
Alaji, please keep it short.
So we have been urging the Honorable Chief of Staff, U.S. Debra, they should tell President James Rahman Mama, they should sack all of the CEOs for the whole region.
Alaji, I think your point is well made. He's asking for all the CEOs to be sacked at the Electricity Company of Ghana. Alaji, sorry, other people are also in line to call. I hope that you can call us again tomorrow. Eduji Tamaklo, good morning to you. CEO of the NPA is watching us this morning. Honorable, good morning to you. All right, let's move on.
Doing well
I'm
this
asking
morning.
is how is he doing? Is he well? Yeah. Do we have messages?
Okay, yes, we do.
Bolga D Line, a landlord from Bolga D Line has sent in one. Well, it's very short. It says, "Good morning to you." I think he's preparing to send the heavy one. Landlord Bolga D Line, we're waiting.
This is from Nene Gaddafi Yellow Krobo. It says, "Good morning, Beatrice. The current situation at the energy sector is very bad, but Ghanaians should know that the government will not deliberately turn off the lights without a reason. I will urge the sector minister to up his game and deal with the situation. May God bless our homeland, Ghana." This is coming from Nene Gaddafi Yellow Krobo. Perhaps I can read this again. Also from Fakaki Wa. Okay, let me perhaps go to Yaya before I come to the message of Fakaki. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Yaya. Please tell us where you're calling us from and what's on your mind.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
This is Yaya calling you.
Yes, sir.
Camera Central. It's inside Camera Central.
Oh, okay. Do you have lights this morning?
Yeah, I have light this morning.
Nice. Tell us how the situation has been for you and what you expect in the next few days.
At this time, we thank God for the work so far. Because some months back, we were experiencing some load shedding. But now, it's now okay. I hope the Energy Minister and the GRA are listening. So anytime it happens that we do call them and then they fix it for us. So let's pray harder for them to continue working hard to save the power for us. Because power is everything now. When you see how power is helping us at this station, it's not easy. So I'm appealing to them to continue working hard to continue getting power. But the most problem is that most of the areas are looking for meters. So energy ministers to do well and get more meters. Because looking at the family houses, people are fighting because of contribution and doing something. And the water situation, the water too, the same thing too. So the water, I don't know whether they can also give some meters available. Because compared to one house and 1 meter, nowadays, in fact, people are not all that having that patience. And then appeal to finance minister too. In fact, the forestry group champions, they are crying for their allowances. Government will help and give out these allowances. Let me extend my greeting to Honorable Harun Egritu and then my Kama Central MP for Professor Harun, Professor Tedo Idrisu, and all listeners. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Yaya, for calling in. And good for you. The situation has improved in his area, so that's great. Let me read.
Aziz Nola has sent a message.
Okay.
Says there's no doom sort today, there's no doom sort tomorrow, as the minority want to paint the picture. In fact, after causing the crisis and the mess at the energy sector, you want to take a U-turn and blame this government. Sad nation indeed. Aziz Dola sent in that one.
From Wa.
Yeah.
And from Fakaki, also in Wa, in the upper west region, says, good morning, Beatrice, Kukiti and Akable. My best regards to Alhaji Al-Hassan, the Lion, and wife Shamima Muslim. Ghanaians should be assured that the recent power outages will be resolved as promised by the sector minister. We encourage the relevant institutions, including Ghana Grid Company Limited, GridCo, and the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to work urgently to stabilize supply. At the same time, the government must conduct a thorough and transparent review of operations in the power sector and hold any underperforming or compromised officials accountable, regardless of political affiliation. That's coming from Fakaki Wa. And, Aziz Donla sends the message, but you've read that.
Yes.
This is from Mr. Simon Yen, also in Wa, says, we, the people in the Upper West region, are grateful that power supply in the region has been stable. No outages. We urge the Energy Ministry to fix the outages in the rest of the country, because if the problem is not fixed, its ripple effect will trickle down to all parts of the country. Greetings to you, Kukiti and Akable from Mr. Simon Yen.
Which part of the country is he again?
He's in Wa.
And there's no outage
There's
over
no,
there?
yes. And all of you watching us from Wa, we get a number of messages from you. Thank you so much. And of course, to other parts of the country as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway. There's an announcement from the ECG, and it says that it wishes to acknowledge that there are pockets of unplanned power outages currently being experienced in certain parts of the country. Now, these outages are largely due to distribution challenges, including obsolete infrastructure and overloaded transformers within our network. Now, to address these issues, the government, in collaboration with the ECG, has commenced the Transformer Upgrade and Replacement Program. So it's called the TURP, which is being implemented in phases across the country. Now, due to these upgrading works, planned outages will be carried out and the public will be informed accordingly. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused and kindly crave the patience and understanding of all affected customers. Please call the ECG hotline on 0302-611-611 to report any unplanned outages. We remain committed to our mandate of providing a reliable and consistent power supply to all Ghanaians. And that's the announcement from the ECG. Now, remember, it's a rainy morning, a very calm one that I really love. I don't like the heat.
Yeah, me
so
too.
do remember to pack up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck Milk Chocolate. Available everywhere. Every corner store has it. It is pure delight. Get some for you, your friends, and your loved ones. Well, who do we have for the big issue this morning?
Yes, a number of people, as you can imagine. Of course, our regular panel members who come on Wednesdays, but let me run by you the names again. We'll have Alfred Kojo Thompson, former Deputy MD, NIB, and also NPP National Treasurer Hofo. We're going to have Abbas Nuruddin as well, private legal practitioner and member of the NDC, join us on the big issue conversation today. Solomon Owusu, Director of Communications United Party, he's our regular panel member for Wednesdays. And of course, his counterpart, Prof. Dr. Joshua, exactly, Zato, a senior fellow, APL senior lecturer at the University of Ghana as well. So he'll be joining us. And of course, there's also a report coming in talking about how many of our youth are migrating from Ghana to other parts of the world to see greener pastures.
Very soon we won't have any of them here in the country.
Exactly the point, yes. We'll be going into that. They actually are saying that we have about 67% of them moving out of the country. So who is staying here to develop the country?
Only you and I, only you and I and Akable. Well, Anna and Roland as well. Yeah, but it's a serious issue that must be looked at. Yeah, so we'll talk about it later
of course, yes.
on the show.
Yes.
Thank you. to all of you who sent messages and called us as well. All our faithfuls and our loyal ones watching this morning. Good morning to all of you. There's no time to mention all of you, but thank you for watching. We take a break. When we come back, of course, Joseph Akable will be...
ECG provide periodic updates on regional basis, areas that will be affected every 12 hours, because it's a very short duration. Like I said, we are looking at this week. So you can't do a weekly schedule.
Thank you for staying with us here on New Day on TV3. It's time for a big issue. There's a lot to talk about this morning. We'll start off with the issues relative to the power situation and the update we brought you and allowed you to call into the show to share your views on that for us. So we know that the Minister for Energy and Green Transitions announced to all of us yesterday that 4 out of the 6 turbines that went off air basically have been restored, just 2 more to go. And so we expect to be some improvement in the power situation, but there are some structural, medium and long-term issues that still remain. We know that the minister has talked about the transformer upgrade that is taking place. We've heard from ECG also talk about power lines and all those other issues that also need to be dealt with once and for all. And beyond that, even regular maintenance, just to ensure that we don't get to this situation again at all. And yesterday we also heard from the Ghana Water Company Limited expressing some concerns about the fact that because of the intermittent power supply, they are unable to generate water. And as a result of that, particularly in Accra East, water supply has been affected. A number of you sent your messages yesterday to tell us you do not have water flowing through your taps. And so that is also another angle to this. Yesterday also we heard from businesses in the Eastern and Volta region, especially welders, cold store operators, telling us about the impact of this situation on their hands. But government has assured that this is something that is working around the clock to deal with and resolve once and for all. For those of you familiar with energy politics and politics generally, you will know that this is not the first time we are hearing the phrase doom CSA. In fact, you remember Dr. Matipo Prempe, when he was energy minister, did say the same thing. And years down the line, we are back to it again. So sustainable means of resolving all these challenges once and for all is what we are all looking out for. And joining me this morning, the usual Wednesday team, Solomon Owusu, United Party is right here. Solo, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Akable, and good to see you. It's been a long time. You have been practicing and dealing with people in the court.
Last time, I think I met you in
I
court
sleep
the other
in court.
time.
I'm always in court. Why? You cannot be a businessman and not be going to court. Because people want to shortchange you. So you must
You have to
man
take
up.
them on.
Exactly. But once you are doing that, the bar is also prospering. Is that not the case?
Well, another person prospering at the bar is right next to you, Abbas Nuruddin. Abbas Nuruddin is a legal practitioner member of the National Democratic Congress as well. Senior, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
I think this is my first time meeting you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, same
Akable, formerly of...
Joy, yes.
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay. It's such a popular voice. A privilege to have the opportunity.
It's my first time meeting you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Over across is Doc as well. Doc, I saw a video of Doc on these days. Everything is on TikTok. I saw a video of Doc on TikTok at a massive birthday celebration, exchanging pleasantries
MVP
with.
birthday.
I mean, it was a birthday of an MPP member, and Doc was
there.
Yeah, Doc was present, and the minority that had just come in, and Doc was shaking hands
That's
and
right.
taking hugs here. And
Representing his true self.
Dr. Joshua Jebunti Zato. Doc, good morning.
Good morning to you, and let me continue where you just stopped. Happy belated birthday to you, Honorable Farouk Mahamam. You are a true son of your father. I'm grateful for your life, and I'm grateful that God will give you many, many, many more birthdays. So I'm glad that you have risen up and that you are taking over the mantle that your father left for you. The people of Yendi will be very safe in your hands, and you'll prove to be a very effective and efficient.
Is this supposed to be a campaign?
Thank you for your life.
In opposition, you people are throwing
I
parties
pray and
like
hope that you will continue to grow from
opposition
strength to
throwing lavish
strength. I
parties.
pray and continue that your enemies and your opponents will continue to look at you in awe and in administration. Thank you, Ali Farouk Muhammad.
Such a lavish party. Opposition people.
Is listening.
Let me. Okay.
What did they tell us something? They started call Mama Tree baby Robert. So Okafor Didi.
Okafor Didi. You are done.
Oh yeah.
Farouk is Okafor. He's in opposition, but Okafor is what Didi.
Oh, Didi.
So he Didi.
Oh, okay.
This opposition Okafor Didi is beyond imagination.
Opposition
members throwing a lavish party.
Or come for the detail. Or even the opposition. Did you see the lavish birthday party that the chief of staff went into? Completely at variance.
No. It was a part.
Code of conduct saying don't do this thing. The chief of staff said, I've seen the code of conduct, but I'm throwing a lavish birthday party. In total disregard of that, you've not seen that. You have seen that, Farouk.
I saw yours.
I'll come there. So let's take them off. Like, come this way. Yes. So let's begin the conversation now.
Oh, I thought we had begun.
No, I'm coming. We are having a conversation about the energy situation. For some weird reason, when you were talking about the party, I knew we were going to end up there. Anyways, let's focus on the issues at hand. And let me start with you, Doc, on the energy.
Oh, I thought we were going to start with.
Unfortunately, I decided.
Okay, I'm happy with
that. So,
I mean,
Doc, we've heard from government and what is being done. In fact, the energy minister particularly, and even the director of communications didn't provide him updates. Are you satisfied with the responses received so far that we are not in a worrying situation like some members of the New Patriotic Party would want us to believe?
I don't know what we are in right now because nobody is prepared to tell us, nobody is prepared to communicate to this country what is actually happening. Are we in doom so? Can somebody man up? Can somebody be bold enough to raise his or her hand and say, yes, we are in doom so? Are we in doom so? Because if you don't know the problem you are, how to solve it becomes an issue. Are we in doom so? Let somebody officially tell us that, yes, we are. And then you can begin what? To enumerate what you think you are doing or not doing. That's the first thing. Deniability or restraint, trying not to run it doesn't help anybody. Because understand this, that look, if you are a hairdresser, if you are a barber, if you are this, and you know whether you are in doom so or not. So that's the first thing I would want. We need some honesty. Sometimes some of these problems, that's what happens. Tell us what exactly we are in. That is the first thing I want. I want some amount of truth here, some honesty here. Let us know what we are dealing with. Two, we have seen a lot of theorists trying to use to forget that this happens. And one of the theories is that, one of the arguments is that the former government did not do any investment or reinvestment in the energy sector.
Absolutely.
That was what was said. Okay. Even if we agree with that, how come in 2025 we didn't face this problem we are facing? So for 8 years, what we are saying is that for 8 years, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo's government did not do any major investment in the country, in the energy sector. But for 8 years, the lights were on. And when he was leaving office, he left the lights on. Was it magic that put the lights on? Was it witchcraft that kept the lights on?
Now, I am saying that there were periods of outages.
What I'm saying, of course, there's a difference. What's the difference? Period of outages. What do you mean by period of outages?
I remember the period that the energy minister said they were doing doomsday.
Exactly. When was that? That was actually even almost in the 6th year of the Akufo-Addo administration. That was almost in the 6 years of it. So it was in the beginning. That's the point I'm making. Almost in the 6 years of it, and it was fixed. And we didn't see by 2024, we didn't see this happening. But my point is that up to 2025, it was fixed. Those things were fixed. This is the point I'm saying. If you say he did not put any investment in any sector, but for 8 years he kept the lights on, then it was magic. Was it magic? Was it witchcraft that kept the lights on? What kept the lights on for the 8 years? Something happened. Now, whatever formula that was used to keep the lights on is a good formula. We could continue with that. Then you came to 2025, lights were still on. And one of the biggest things we had in 2025 was that some transmitters, transmitters, were imported into the country. And they got lost. They got missing. One, they said they were stolen. Two, they said they were missing. And then all these investigations, finally, they were recovered. Are those not investments? If you bring in transmitters, that many transmitters, is that not an investment? Are those, so you cannot on the one hand say there was no investment, and then on the other hand says that, well, we brought in new transmitters to do it. Are those transmitters not investments? They are investments, and they were brought to help what? Solve the situation. So again, it goes to that narrative that there was no investment. No, because you cannot say there was no investment, and then there was, we brought in lessons to help. Then 3, the issues I want to look at is then saying that, okay, let's go to Ashanti region, let's fire some people, let's move some people around. Was it a human resource situation? Was it a human resource situation that led to the power crisis in Ashanti? But so far we have been told that it is not a human resource situation. We have been told that it's not firing engineers left and right. It's not, that is a human resource, but the problems in the sector is not a human resource situation. And then finally we come to what? What is happening? The fire at the power plant. Fire anywhere is very destructive. So I won't be surprised that, I'm not surprised that the fire there destroys some properties and is going to be. But ultimately, we need some honesty and some sincerity. Tell us what exactly is happening. There are issues of costs. Remember when the government came to power? One of the first things they did was to rush through a bill in power for the Dumso levy. What were we told when that levy was passed? The Dumso levy was presented as a panacea to the woes and pathologies in the energy sector. We were told that if we pass this and if we took this money, we will cure all the ills and woes in that sector. Was it a lie? What happened? You are still collecting the money. So are you saying us that the message you sold us, how you sold us that the energy, the Dumso levy was supposed to be, did you fail? Or was it just another source of revenue for government? That's what I'm saying, that we need some sincerity from government. Was it just another revenue for government? That's okay. Because you cancel e-levy, you cancel burden tax, it created a big hole in the government financial structure. You wanted something to play. I'm not against it, but let us know, let us be chance. Because on the one hand, you cannot tell us that Dumso levy was supposed to solve these problems. Then on the other hand, you are telling us that the Dumso levy, yes, even though it's there, you are still collecting so much money from it, the problem is not solved. So what exactly is the problem then? Is it a financial problem? Let us know. Is it this? Because you cannot be running around. It's about something that's, you see, and sometimes the biggest problem that this NDC has or the government has is that they campaigned in excellent poetry. Beautiful poetry. Offering lazy and simplistic solutions to rather very complex problems. And now that you are in power, you then realize that those simplistic solutions could not work. I heard the national chairman of the NDC make a very simplistic argument. I'm not an engineer, I can't make that. What's the name? Engineers are working the daytime. Why should we have lights off? Are you working the night? Why should we have lights off? You heard that, right? You heard the national. So the same question he asked, we could just ask the managing minister today that same question. If they are fixing a transmitter in the daytime, why am I having lights off? That was the question that the national chairman of the NDC asked. I've seen the national communications director of the NDC said something very important. He said, if we have haram, Dumso in 2024, it was haram. You heard that, right? You heard him say that, right? That if we had Dumso in 2024, it was haram. Why are we still doing haram now? Or is it still haram? The Dumso we're having now, is it still haram? Or this is, what's the opposite of haram?
Halal.
So, or is this halal Dumso? And I go he said we had haram Dumso. Now, the question is, do we now have halal Dumso? And what's the difference? What I'm saying is that you begin to see, and you've seen this in almost all of government, campaign beautifully in poetry.
I mean, but you agree that since Thursday, the power situation has been very bad since Thursday. You agree with that?
It has always been very bad. It's not listening to Thursday. The power situation has been very bad.
If you are going to do analysis and you compare the intensity, the extent,
it got worse. I'm not denying the fire incident. I've not denied it.
Yeah, I mean, but you in one breath you suggest that, well, government is not telling us what has happened. In another breath you say that, well, in the past they said light shouldn't go off if you are doing something in the day, it's not in the evening.
I'm not the one that said it. I'm not the one that said it. I'm not. No. I'm quoting policy makers.
Yes, they said that, but you admitted from the initial submission that 2025, we didn't have these issues. You admitted to that.
Yes. No. So
if we're having the issues now,
yes,
is the logical
I'm responding to different
else that has happened?
I'm compartmentalizing the issues.
Okay.
The 2025 issue that came out was coming from an angle that you said there was no investment in the sector. Do you understand that? Okay. So that was to specifically address that question. So if you said there was no investment in the sector, so how is it that for 9 years the sector was working, humming, and you said there was no investment? So what was it running on? Do you understand? That was to deal with that. Then specifically we also give another reason that it was transformers. And my question is, yes. Maybe you have to expand transformers, population expand, things do, and then it does. But then, remember, in the past, you poo-hoo that idea. The national chairman of the industry poo-hoo that idea that no, if you are fixing a transformer in Kanda, then in the daytime, then in the nighttime, Kanda should have lights. That was basically what he's saying. He says, there's no, this and that, because of the transformer, then people should sleep in darkness in Kanda. That was the point he made. So I agree with that. Then I agree with that. Why are we now using that to justify that there's lies of them?
So as far as you are concerned, what exactly is happening?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what it is a financial. What I'm saying is that it could be a financial problem. Okay. It could be a lack of crude problem. It could be a technological problem. Whatever it is, I think the ordinary Ghanaian or those of us that are they will just want to switch on their lights and come on, and we want the government to move from of this cacophony of excuses and just get the lights fixed. Okay. I think that is what everybody wants.
Okay. Let me come to Abbas now, and there are some who would go beyond Thursday to say that even before Thursday there were some outages, and basically there had not been any proper official communication till Thursday happened. I mean, how does government respond to that concern?
Well, bro, I think if anybody says there are intermittent power outages, I don't think any of us, any Ghanaian, would doubt that. But the point still remains that there is no doomsaw. When we say doomsaw is when there is an official load shedding program announced by Electricity Company of Ghana. So insofar as the ECG has not come out with a doomsaw timetable, I don't think there is doomsaw.
I mean, in the last, over the period, they released notices.
I'm coming. but there are intermittent power outages, which has been a regular occurrence even under MPP. Under MPP, there were times that these regular power outages were quite frequent, to the point that your former colleague Nana Boache went to ask NAPO when they held a program at Great Hall that Ghanaians are complaining too much about the power outages. Have they thought about bringing a doomsaw timetable? NAPO flared up, and the vituperations that followed is there for all of us to appreciate. So, and even under MPP, there was a time that the overlord of the Ashanti region, Oteko Koso, had cause to complain that all his electrical appliances have been destroyed because of doomsaw. That was in December 2021. I'm saying this not to equalize. I'm saying this to underscore the point that these intermittent power outages has been a regular feature. And these outages are quite distinct from doomsaw as we know it. What has happened presently is as a result of some force majeure, as in the case of the Akosombo Inferno, where the entire Akosombo power center was taken off grid. You know, Ghana, presently, we have an installed capacity of close to 6,000 megawatts. And we have peak demand of 4,400. That is when everybody is using electricity at peak demand 4,400. So we have excess capacity of about 1,000 or 1,200. So the problem we are facing couldn't be a generation deficit. You know, in most of the times where we have had doomsaw, it has been as a result of a certain power generation deficit. What we are experiencing now is not as a result of a power generation deficit, but as a result of some difficulties in the system as far as transmission and distribution is concerned. If you look at the recent happenings around the country, it was as a result of overloaded transformers. Most of the transformers that were supposed to serve 500 7,400 communities are 7,000 houses are 1,500 communities. And the transformers are said that when there is power overload, it trips, it takes part of the community off. So those were what we were grappling with until the Akosombo Inferno. I told you earlier that we have an installed capacity of almost 6,000. Akosombo alone is supposed to give us between 720 to 1,000 megawatts. So if the entire 6 turbines of Akosombo shuts down, it means we have lost almost 1/5 of the power we are generating. It definitely would have,
but we'll still be within the deficit range.
It definitely would have a resultant effect.
Yeah, but we still have excess.
Yes,
I mean, from the numbers you put out.
Yes, but you see, I said at peak demand, we are using 4,400. We have reserve margin. When I say peak demand, what it means is that is when everybody is using electricity. When everybody, during off-peak season, we may come below 3,000, 3,200. So the Akosombo Inferno took about 1/5 of the power we are generating.
In megawatts terms, what did it take off?
I think it took between 720 to 1,000 megawatts.
Yes, but the numbers you gave me, I mean, the difference is 1,200.
Yes, so the difference is supposed to be 1,200. Yes. And there is a reserve margin of about 800 as well. And the fact that when I say installed capacity, that is our potential capacity. It doesn't mean at every point in time we have all the installed capacity.
So it comes back to the point you're making that it means that we are not generating everything.
Yes, we are not. Installed capacity is your potential.
Yes.
And your demand at peak season.
Because if you are generating close to the 6,000 and 1,000, even give and take, 1,000 is knocked off.
That is our installed capacity. That is what the potential we have to generate. That does not mean at every point in time all our installed capacity is in use. It is only activated in terms of emergency like this. But even as we speak,
since Thursday, the conversation has been trying to get everything back on stream.
Yes, because
if we have the 6,000 we can generate, we shouldn't be thinking about Akosombo. We should just generate and
no, but Akosombo is part of the 6,000. So if Akosombo goes off, you have lost about 1/5 of the power.
If it takes out 1,000,
yes,
you still have.
You
can meet your peak.
The point is that you are confusing installed capacity
I'm just using the numbers you are giving
demand.
Me.
Yes, but
the numbers you are giving me.
When I say installed capacity, what I mean is that that is our potential energy generation capacity. It doesn't mean at every point in time all the close to 6,000 megawatts is deployed. But even as we speak, Akosombo is coming on stream. About 4 of the units that got destroyed have been restored. So our present deficit as far as Akosombo is concerned is around 270. So from yesterday coming, the power situation, those of us in Accra, the power situation has improved a bit, except for MPP people like Zatu, who came here saying he's been sleeping in light for the past 2 days. Meanwhile, he has his shirt neatly ironed. But you see, the point I'm making is that yes, there were intermittent power outages occasioned by a situation that we couldn't have control, which the energy minister is working to bring under control. Quite apart from that, there are long-term systemic challenges like faulty transmission lines, like BOP centers, box supply. If you go to Kumasi, for instance, the whole of Kumasi has only 2 box supply centers. Accra has 6. In terms of the population size, the population in Accra is not markedly different from that of Kumasi. So regardless of what we do in the short term, in the long term, we need another box supply center. It takes between 3 to 4 years to do one box supply center. So it means even if government has the resources, if government has the land to build a box supply center, it will take a bit of time. Okay. So we would urge Ghanaians to be patient with us. There is no doom. So the government has done all it takes to fix the problem it came to meet. So, and sometimes when I hear the likes of Zato complain about doom, so I laugh, because most of the challenges we are going through is as a result of their 8 years of neglect and lack of investment in the energy sector. And if you would indulge me, along the energy generation value chain, there are 3 components. Are you listening? There are 3 components.
Yes, I'm listening.
The first one is generation. MPP came to power on the back of lamentation that the past government has invested so much in power generation, said that we have excess capacity. Solar light, they were complaining that we have excess capacity. We now have power that we don't know what to do with. So in 8 years, they did very little in terms of power generation. But our annual demand for energy...
Did you say nothing of it?
Nothing significant. You see, to put it in proper perspective, from 2013 to 2017, President Mahama increased our generation capacity from 2,500 to 500 to 5,000. In 8 years, MPP added less than 400 megawatts. Such is the lack of investment of the lack of investment in the energy sector that we are talking about. So as they came complaining, meanwhile, our demand for energy grows 20% annually. So for 8 years, there was a gap. If you take the 400 megawatts that they brought on stream, there was a deficit of about 1,200 that they did not.
Yeah, but we are still nowhere near the peak if you look at the numbers.
Yes, but
so why would you want to install more?
No, the point is that, you see, apart from installed capacity, energy is a very technical area. Your installed capacity is your potential generation capacity. Apart from that, you need something called the reserve margin. So even if you are consuming 5,000 now, you need like 1,000 megawatts as a reserve.
Okay.
You get the point. So that in case of any unexpected circumstances, you fall on that. So in terms of generation, they did nothing. Okay. In terms of transmission, they entered into a fictitious arrangement with PDS, causing us to lose 1.1 billion Ghana cedis and a $190 million facility that the Millennium Challenge the Millennium Challenge Agency was supposed to give to us to change all our transmission lines. So in terms of transmission, very little was done. Then in terms of distribution, what did we see? They generated the power, the IPPs generated the power for them, they sold the power, but they did not put the money into the cash waterfall mechanism, which was a payment arrangement that was done to share proceeds of power distributed to IPP. So if you would remember, in June 2024, all these IPPs issued a statement that if government does not pay them, they are going to shut down. This government inherited a $1.5 billion energy sector debt, which it has paid. But for the payment of that amount, Dumso would have been worse now, because most of these independent power producers would have shut down. So when we are talking about the crisis we are facing now, it is not in the nature of President Mahama and his team to open the book of lamentation as the MPP would normally do. We think we have been voted into power. When you come to power, you inherit the good as well as the bad. So even though MPP in 8 years did very little in terms of investment in the energy sector, they saddled the sector with huge debt. This government is clearing it, and we will clear it and get the power situation fixed. So Ghanaians should bear with us.
So there's no doom.
Joining us in the studio.
I said there are intermittent power outages.
Alfred Kojo Thompson is former Deputy Managing Director of the NIB. He's just joined us in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Before I come to you, let me come to Solo right next to me. And Mr. Osu,
how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I see.
He sends his greetings.
We've received
wishes you the best for the morning.
We've received it. Mr. Usu, you've heard from Abbas and your good friend Doc over there. It's just the usual energy politics.
Abbas needs some water.
What's your own understanding of what is happening?
Akablay. I don't know. Alfred says Mahmoud Bawumia greased you, right? You have any linkage there?
I've not even met him before.
This country, you must always ask. So, very important. You see, when you take your Bible, the first chapter you see is what? On Genesis. Is that not the case? So immediately you go to Genesis and you take chapter 1, Genesis 1, and you go to 3. It clearly says that let there be light. Let there be light.
And there was no light.
And the point is that the reason why the creator of this world put that let there be light in Genesis 1, you want everybody that will govern us, that believes in the Bible, that you will not go inside. But the first page, so that it rings bell in your ears that you cannot toil and play with our energy needs. I have slept in doing so. Everyone is not comfortable with the issue of doing so. It is the reason why when this administration was introducing the doom so levy, I supported it wholeheartedly. In fact, listeners will bear me out that recently when the government attempted to remove that levy, I said no, because the impact of doomso on our lives cannot be compensated by anything else. And so if there is a levy on it that can protect all of us, then I am for it. You see, the numbers do not lie. We have not improved substantially in terms of investment in the sector in the last 8 years. So I was wondering why my brother Jebuntie, having the benefit of this doubt, you know, when he knows the truth, he go and hide under, I'm not good in mathematics, I don't have figures, it's a lie. He knows it very well. In fact, there is a course at the department that's mathematical politics or so, that students even write exams on. So he cannot come here and create the impression that he has no benefit of figures. He does not know figures. He's not a technical person. If you are not a technical person, why are you discussing the subject matter?
Did I say anything like that here today? Actually? Did you hear me say that today?
That too. I was sitting here.
No, but you mentioned my name. You think I have
No,
did I say it today?
You have
I don't know what to take money. You're a pastor. When you don't have anything to say, you start preaching.
You have your book in front of you. I want you to take notes.
So why you have anything to
you
say?
take it. You don't worry. Yes, go ahead.
Get to Lamentations quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
So the truth of the matter is that we cannot be happy with what is happening. And so this administration must, as a matter of urgency, because they are now in the helm of affairs, deal with the matter. I listened to the energy minister. He seems to have some solutions to the matter. I am only watching that all the things, the beautiful things he told us 2 days ago would be implemented to the latter, so that the average Ghanaian, mind you, as we speak, Electricity Company of Ghana is having my money because we do prepaid. So it's unconscionable for you to take my money, hold on to my money, and be giving me excuses. I cannot, as a consumer, give them excuses for not paying. But why must they have excuses for me? So it is something that you have to work on it well. It comes back to what Ghanaians as electors must be demanding from of our political actors. These are the critical questions. When we are going into elections, what sort of questions do we ask? For instance, in 2028, you should be able to ask the MPP what amount of power you added onto the national grid. You ask the NDC what you did in the sector, and the UP what we intend to do. Because right here, if I were to show you our great transformation plan, page 55, you are sitting here, you read down here, the plan is very clear. Right from the busiest regime coming, Ghana has had a plan of developing mini hydros on our water and river bodies. Is there, if you go to the energy ministry, what has been the attempt to actualize this vision? It is also there. I don't know. I will be very surprised that the technical people at the Ministry of Energy and the ECG will not advise any government that there is the need to upgrade the existing infrastructure. Because like he rightly said, the transformers we are using today are outdated. It does not have the capacity to contain the numbers that we are seeing. In fact, it seems to me that there is no correlationship between development and the installed capacity or the energy needs. You go to areas that hitherto in Accra were practically bushy or forests are now totally developed, but are not matched with the sort of transformers. So what were we doing? And it goes back to the Ashanti region issue. Ashanti region issue, they saw it. They realized that the transformers there couldn't support. But going to tell them the truth that we are going to engage in some maintenance which will bring some discomfort, playing politics with it, they deferred it. And so the people are now suffering. And that is why, to a large extent, I was happy when the minister came and said he was being truthful. There is nothing wrong. But beyond being truthful, what then do we do to make sure that this situation does not happen? I mean, you are doing banter with Abbas. It's true. If you look at our installed capacity, it's in the region of the 5,000s. However, there is a difference between installed capacity and dependable capacity. Our dependable capacity comes down to 4,800 or so. But remember, we have been told time with that number that any power generated, the ECG lose, in terms of the transmission, they lose about 30%. So if we were to take that one out, already we have deficit. So to cure that mischief, it means you have to invest heavily in improving or upgrading our existing infrastructure. And the difficulty I have with this administration is covering up for the thieves that stole in the sector. That is why Ghanaians are very angry now. You know, the angry or the anger, let me put it that way, the anger is not about the doom, because they understand the situation. You cannot lose 1,000 megawatts and expect to have a free flow. But here is a sector that you were told as of 2025 that the debt in there was 68 billion. I can't believe you ask yourself, out of the 68 billion, how much was used to improve or increase the capacity? A sector that was only 68 billion. Look, end year 2016, ECG declared a profit of 208 million. End year 2016. Immediately, the Nanado Baumiada he came to greet, said he was extending his greetings to you, took over in 2017. ECG began experiencing debt.
And Alan too.
Oh.
He was a cabinet minister, part of the economic minority.
Sologo. Afino.
He was part.
Is there?
You cannot just say Alan too was part. He was also part.
Wrap up.
Was he a cabinet minister?
No. Speak. Let it come out clearly so that we deal with the matters. No.
Not a cabinet minister.
Oh, fantastic. So, you said what?
Trade minister.
And we are discussing what? And we are discussing what?
No, but if you're trading,
you see, in the attempt, I have what it takes to deal with the two of them. It's not a problem. I'm going to be. Look, listen. In 2017. ECG that had declared profit in 2016 started experiencing losses. They declared a loss of 497 million in 2017. Then between 2018 and 2023, they declared a loss of 23 billion. TV3. Now going back, end year 2024, PricewaterhouseCoopers did an audit of ECG. And I'm wondering what this administration, that's why when I hear things in this sector, I flare. Because we know the truth, we want to cover up for people. And the Ghanaian is never going to forgive this administration for covering up for the TV that happened at the energy sector. Now, PricewaterhouseCoopers go to do auditing. They tell us that in the entire year of 2024, they discovered that ECG actually mobilized or collected tax revenue to the tune of 15.8 billion. Guess what? These are the figures. However, when you go to the cash water flow mechanism, they had declared that they got 10.4. Right away, people must be arrested. This matter, energy minister and your people, you are sitting there, and we are experiencing this. No way. Now, even with the 10.4 that they declared to the cash water flow mechanism, they actually paid 6.5 billion, leaving a deficit of 3.9 billion. Where did that money go? Pricewater tells us that they were not able to account for the 3.9 billion. They could not account for the difference between the 15.8 to 10.4 billion. So this money was sitting in the pockets of some people. Yeah. And it's the reason why you do not have that efficient management. So what this administration, some of us were expecting, was to go after those that had looted from us. You were in this country, we were told, people were just procuring, what do you call it, cables. Cables that we did not need. This matter we are talking about is not cable matter. But interestingly, every year ECG was just adding up cables. To the extent that when they buy, they don't even have the courtesy to go and then clear from the port. As we speak, the last time the energy minister said, oh, they have transferred it to Attorney General's political talk. Every time you go and hit it on the Attorney General, no action. These are clear matters.
Okay.
These are clear matters. So unless we do that, and use the money to invest. Remember, ECG had never collected money to the tune of about 1.6 billion until last year, June. How did we all of a sudden leapfrog?
Yeah.
You are not in this country.
Yeah.
Now you are saying, You understand? You are not telling me, you don't even know what is happening in this country. You are going to show me? Yeah. What are you going to show?
You finish. Land for me.
In London, it is very important. It's very important that we do not come back to this situation, and that we must go back on the drawing board and look at all the policies that will increase our generation capacity, upgrade our existing. If the transformers that they are replacing will bring stability in the sector, they must do it. They must not listen to the naysayers. They must not say because people are going to incur discomfort right now, they would defer it. Okay. Do it so that at the end of the day, if it's going to take even 1 year for us to know that we have dealt with our energy needs constructively, then we would not have a repeat of this. However, we cannot conclude this matter unless and until we go after all those that looted from us in that energy sector. Some of them are sitting right here. They are party people. That must be dealt with.
All right. Mr. Thompson, what's your position?
He's now looking at Gogo.
I'm going to give.
He's now checking Gogo. You are now coming to check Gogo here. Don't worry. I'm worried.
Are you done?
Yeah, he's done. Mr. Thompson, you can have your turn now. I mean, what's your understanding of?
This is the first time I'm meeting you, and I'm glad I have. And what I would say is that I wish you the best, because when you have braggarts and people shouting all over and calling names, I believe you're a lawyer. And before you can call someone a thief, you have to prove that he is a thief. So if you have more educated people sit on set and shouting out that people are thieves and they are walking around, then it means that the first fingers should be pointed at those people. Because if you are not a thief, you wouldn't know your brother who is a thief. I'll leave it at that. The energy sector is a big problem that we are facing. And to tell you the truth, this is one of the reasons why I was late today. 12 midnight, the power goes off. It started, I think, 3 or 4 days ago in my area, around after East Legon, Obojo. Every evening it goes off. When I got to the studio, I was reading the board there, the Great Coal shut off. And I realized that all the areas they had announced were more Ashanti areas. It wasn't in Greater Accra after the burning. So why are we so affected in Greater Accra? One would say, oh, it's not Dumso. But if I sleep the whole night and I leave my house this morning and I have not still got electricity, I believe it's Dumso. Because previously, in between 2019 or 2020 and 2024, when the lights were going off, it wasn't for this long extent. It wasn't in this bad taste. Those who knew. And they can check. You can shout about it, you can insult about it, but that is it.
It's not true.
Please go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
When this government took over power in when did they take over power? 2025 or
2025 January.
One of the first things that happened at the Energy Ministry was the alleged missing containers, true or false. Up to now, the minister has not been punished for lying to Ghanaians that they were missing containers. Because when they were pointed out to him that, listen, there can never be any container missing in the port, they came back and said that, oh, they have found it at another yard. But when you are doing your work the first time, the people you set up a committee or condom tea, and they were drinking their tea and added biscuits to it, and were enjoying and writing memos and reports. They couldn't go around and check from all the yards in Tema. For you to come and give the whole Ghanaian and this and that, over 10 or 15 containers are missing at the port. And these were full of cables and transformers and everything that you can name and shame. And he's walking free. If I were him, in my stead, I'll resign. Because it means that this is your first day of shame. But no, nothing has been done. You see, NDC and Mahama are synonymous to Dumso. And if you remember, somewhere in 2024, when there were a few challenges here and there, Nanado said, woe betides him that he would make doomsday come into this country. It's synonymous with Mahama. So when Mahama comes back, he can bring doomsday. But under his reign, you make sure Ghanaians will not suffer that. And truly, he made sure that Ghanaians will not suffer that. When he was saying that cables were brought in and were being changed, that was the time Napo was telling people that, listen, we needed to change most of our cables. Because before we took over government, and even it's happening right now, when you hear any thunderstorm or the rains were about to start, lights go off. Am I lying? When we came into power and we started changing those cables, even when it was raining, you still had lights. Even when it was raining, you still had lights. So this matter of trying to, paint NPP into this picture, you were voted into power. And you got the likes of some CSOs being on the national platform and other people in some other political parties joining you to sing praises that this government is the best government in Aba. Aban Papa Aba. Is this the Aban Papa Ghanaians called for? Sometimes they forget. That is not as if they added some mysterious figures to become the leader in this political race for the 2024 elections. It's about 2.1 million NPP sympathizers and members who were angry with the party because of one or two obvious reasons and said that they were not going out to vote. But when you check the results from 2016, 2020, and 2024, they're about the same figure that NDC are holding. So they didn't have any miraculous thing. It's not as if Ghanaians wanted them, but they were angry with their party. And the way NPP is, when they're angry with you, they'll decide not to go out and vote. So it's not that they have anything mysterious that Ghanaians saw, so this and that, this is the best alternative. They are not the alternative. And they've proven to us that they are not the alternative. And this can be said in the electricity challenges that are going on. And not only that, in almost all the sectors. Go to education. Go to other places. You are seeing it. You are feeling it. Today, teachers are sitting down. 14 months down the line, they are not being paid. But they said they are going to employ 7,000 more in addition. Today, the finance minister is telling us that he had to borrow to do compensation. But meanwhile, they are telling us that, no, we have to take more people into the service sector. Isn't it scary? And then when that happens, and things are not going well, and the systems are not working well, you come and tell us that, it's MPP. You think Ghanaians are stupid? You think Ghanaians are fools? You think Ghanaians don't think? Or because you said Ghanaians have short memory, so you think every time you can throw things at them and they'll just grab a line, who can sink her? As we sit here, Senate and Pong aren't working. They are not performing. They are not producing. Am I lying? Go and check. Your own sister station came out with almost all these things. There is a producing shortfall of about 29% capacity. That is going on. Because the hydro, which is at which is supposed to run at 1,411 megawatts, is now producing at 403 megawatts. And you have the figures. We've all seen it. One of your sister stations have come out with all these figures that I'm saying. It's not as if I'm producing them. There is a shortfall of over 1,000 megawatts from this hydro power generation. Over 1,000 megawatts. Akoson Modam, as we speak today, is now producing at 86 megawatts. That is a 10% capacity. 10% only. Which is dangerous. Please, when you are sitting here calling people thieves, did they tell you this thing?
Lies, you go and prepare speech here and they give you wrong data and you are falling for it. Ask him the sources.
Are you done?
Are you done? How can I take lessons from you?
Are you done?
Hold on. Incompetent person is giving you such figures and you are asking him.
Solo, hold on.
Incompetent. So incompetent.
Thank you very much.
So incompetent. He has to give you sources.
No, Solo, go ahead.
But we cannot be treated to fake figures here.
Pong is doing a 21%.
Hold on, Mr. Thompson.
It's so fake.
Solo.
Don't let him degrade your program.
Calm down.
I'm calm.
Do you want to look on my laptop?
No. Yeah, I've seen it.
All the things there.
I mean, so I know which document is coming. Except that I'm coming.
Reference
I'm coming
to a joy.
I'm coming.
FM publication that has been heavily disputed by the
Abbas,
energy ministry. The figures have been discredited.
Who
else will dispute that? You see?
So fake.
The figures have been discredited.
He's from communication meeting. That's why he was late. That number.
Why are you copying his work? Why are you looking
that number will not be.
I'm so sad. Why are you copying his work?
I'm so sad for him.
Can you please stop reading?
Are you decent? No. Are you decent? Please. Solo. You had your time to talk. No. This crap. You are decent as if you are decent.
I want you to open your notebook. Thank you very much.
No, but this is fake. Even without opening something, even on the face of the document, it's all fake.
It's not real.
So there's data, and I was just allowing him to go through a chain of thoughts because I have a sense of the data he's speaking to. I've seen the raw spreadsheet as well. In fact, the raw spreadsheet is right in front of me.
And what does it say?
So I mean, I know what he was driving at, and I was going to come in to draw his attention to that question.
So let me.
You just have to hold on.
Yes, let me ask you a simple question.
I was saying that
I'm coming. Let me ask you a simple question.
But now asking the host a question.
If an investigation has been done by TV3 and they come out with their figures, and an energy minister or a government spokesperson or a semi-government spokesperson comes out to say that these figures that you are giving are not true, which one do you think I will take?
It's so pathetic.
That's fine.
But I will not throw the TV3 one away because I know that this is an investigation they've gone to do.
I mean, but I was only drawing your attention. I was only drawing your attention. Please, I'll give you a chance to come in. I was only drawing your attention that the Akosombo figure will not be updated because the data.
At the time they took the investigation. That's what was.
Yesterday they added
because those are data sets between. In fact, there's April 1.
Now, even yesterday they added one. This thing.
Yes, I mean we actually now have 4 out of the 6. So that number. So I'm saying that number will be higher than you have it now. So you go ahead and land
presentation. Let me finish.
So you are misleading the
these are some of the challenges that came in and has destroyed our generation that you are picking. And so someone comes to sit here and tell us that, we can do 6,000 because you have the capacity to do 6,000. When in actual fact, you are not even producing. Up to 37% of your capacity has gone. There's a gap in there that you are supposed to generate now. You have a gap there. Then you come and tell me that I should buy yours line, hook, and sinker. When even on the first day of resumption of office, and we gave your energy minister some few months, he came to lie to the Ghanaian people that containers were missing at the ports. That he was caught, pants down, that there were no containers missing. And you want me to take information from that minister? Or you want me to take it from Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, who lied with his fellow cohorts into power? And they are still lying till date. Because you see, the first problem in solving your problem is to identify that you have a problem. They don't want to identify that they have a Dumsor problem. They don't want to identify that Dumsor is synonymous with NDC and Mahama. Don't forget, President, the first time there were intermittent light-offs, yes or no? That was why he pushed for the Bui Dam to come on. President Atambo's time, there were intermittent light-offs. But it wasn't to this extent. It was only under President Mahama in NDC 2012 to 2016 that we heard the name Dumsor, and it went into the encyclopedia of the world.
I mean, but if you talk about what we are experiencing now,
I'm coming.
You would agree that we are nowhere near those levels. You agree with that?
2016 and 2020.
I mean, what we are experiencing now. Yes, what we are experiencing.
It's 10 years down the line. No? Mm-hmm. It's similar. We are getting there. It's almost there. Okay. Because what we are experiencing now, within the last 10 years, was never this way.
Conclude for me.
So, in the wisdom of the flag bearers, when they were going to stand for election, that's why someone bought the yellow book and went to give it to President Mahama to use their yellow book. That the yellow book will bring them the wisdom that is going to come. But Dr. Bawumia, with the team sat down and said, listen, one, it's not just about generation. It's about how much people are paying to get electricity.
So that is how
when you compare yourself to the West African market, we are paying so much, and that's why production here is very low. So for us to be a competition in the market, we need to reduce prices of electricity and other things that come into our production mix. So he was looking at producing 2,000 megawatts of solar energy, which will drop our electricity by 50%. 50 good percent. He was going to help individual households.
But he was in power for 8 years.
And how many? He was in power, but he wasn't in charge. Are you the person in charge of this?
But the MPP
Let me
was
ask
in
a simple
power.
question. I'm coming. Master, you see, let us be rational. You are sitting here, you are working here. Is it every thought that you bring here that the management will take line, hook, and sinker?
So you're saying that he suggested that he wasn't taking?
No, I'm asking you a simple
question. That's an obvious. It's obvious that he's not going to do everything.
Listen, you can bring certain things, but the person can decide that this is not
good for oil.
The person will decide that this is not my priority.
So that
is why St. George will sit in office and say that the priority of the government is to make sure that the LGBT is signed. But the Mama said that it's not his priority.
Okay.
So coming back to our mix.
Just coming back. Just conclude for a minute for me. Just a minute. I mean, if you can hold on with interference, that's why the time got extended.
Totally unacceptable.
It's not speaking for 20 minutes. No. Abbas don't do that. Abbas, I have all the time stamp.
Thank you.
Yes.
So coming back to the mix, he said that listen, individuals who want to have solar in their houses, they are going to help them do that, and they are going to give them the metering system, where even with your when you finish, you are going to receive, you can sell the remaining energy that you've got back to ECG, so that they can give it to the lower places that are not getting these mixes. That is sense. Putting on the table.
All right.
And it's something that he said that under his administration, that is his priority he's going to do, so that people will not suffer the suffering they are having today. When they came, energy prices have gone up. They increased electricity by 28%. When people complain, they brought it down to 24%.
Okay, Mr. Thompson, hold on for me. Abbas, you had some points that you wanted to react. Yes,
I've taken time to listen to both Dr. Zato and Mr. Thompson. And one thing is very clear. None of them has been able to adduce any evidence to dispute the claim we made that in 8 years, MPP did not make any considerable investment in the energy sector. You have no, you took 28 minutes to beat about the bush, and you want to go into my time. You see, they did absolutely nothing significant in terms of generation. That is a matter of fact. As far as transmission and distribution is concerned, what they gave us is PDS. You are now talking about Baumia. Thinking about taking us on a solar drive where everybody would have a battery and all of that. And it is this same, you see, part of the problem we are facing today is as a result of Dr. Baumia handing over a national asset like ECG to PDS, as a result of which we lost 1.1 billion Ghana cedis, as a result of which we lost 90 million Ghana cedis that the Millennium Compact account was given to us to upgrade our transmission line. So if you bring Dr. Baumia in the equation, I think you are trivializing this whole argument. If there is anybody we need to hold responsible for the lack of investment under MPP, I think Baumia is one. And this, and you see, you would laugh. You would laugh. You would laugh. It is because it was Dr. Baumia who turned a bank guarantee, which was supposed to be an a condition precedent, to an insurance guarantee, which later turned out even to be fake. Which turned out later to be fraudulent, as confirmed by Al-Kut. You don't know about that? You don't know about that? It was a committee chaired by Dr. So the point is that the MPP did not make any significant investment in the energy sector is a fact. The NDC came in to make to meet a very terrible situation in terms of a 1.5 million debt OIPCs which have been settled. The MPP came in to meet a system that has not been upgraded for a long time. And we introduced the transformer upgrade program, which is presently ongoing. So we urge Ghanaians to bear with us. The problem we are facing will not last. It is something that is under control. The Ministry of Energy has its hands around it. And you see, when Alfred was talking, he said under President Kufuor, there was no doom, so there was intermittent power supply. But one of the few moments that we've had Doomsaw, proper Doomsaw, evidenced by a timetable from ECG was under President Kufuor. During his 8 years, we had Doomsaw for 3 years. So if you come here and say under President Kufuor, there was no Doomsaw, you see people will not take you serious. Anybody that lived that moment will not take you that serious. Right. So the point is that we came to meet a terrible situation. We are not lamenting as the MPP will do. We are fixing it, and we will fix it.
Okay. Doc.
Thank you. If, after almost 1.5 years in office, after reading 2 budgets, presenting 2 State of the Nation addresses, you are still blaming your woes and pathologies in any sector on the previous government, you are a massive failure.
Thank you.
1. 2. Despite all the panting and the ranting from Solo, there is absolutely no TV audience within the energy sector. If they were, by now we would have seen it. There's nothing there. And I like the fact that any opportunity, you like to buy the hand that fed you for 8 years, Solomon, or for 6 years. Keep on doing that. One day it will come. Okay? You want to sit here and tell me that Alan was an angel in the MPP. Meanwhile, all this Alan was a senior cabinet member, sat in the economic decisions, that at any opportunity you want to what? Cover him so that he looks like an angel, whilst you want to blame somebody else. Solomon, it's not going to happen. And look, finally, I want to make some point because we need to keep this things like that. On the one hand, you are saying that they didn't make any major investment. But I tell you what is major. Define major. I tell my students, define your concepts. When you say major investment, first it was that they didn't make any investment. Then we have been told that they were changing wires. Now, I am not, but I know that if you are changing wires to good wires, it's an investment, right? 2, they were also told that they imported transformers. Transformers too is an investment. Now, if our issue, I heard my brother admit that we have a transmission problem. How do you address transmission problem? By the wires and by the transformers. So if that was identified, or if that is identified as the core problem, and you are saying that the previous government did invest in these areas, how then do you now jump from that to go and say they didn't make any major investments? But look, Akabele, there's something that will happen in this country, and there's something that we need to do. We need to have a timeline on when you can blame the former government for your woes and pathologies. Because when you come in and you tell me that the whole of 2025, that the sector was stable, you took credit for that.
Okay.
When fuel prices are going down, you take credit for that. When what's the name? Dollar is going down, you take credit for that. So on the one hand, you are telling us that in 1 year you've been able to achieve all these things. And we should clap for you. We should praise you. We should sing your hosannas and hallelujahs for what you have done in your name. You have transformed the economy in 1 year. I want you to understand that narrative. You understand that. Yeah. In 1 year, you said, I have done all these things. But in the same time, well, the 1 year is not enough to also do these things. So praise us for all these things we've done for 1 year. But when it comes to this one, blame the APP. Hypocrites. It's not fair to do that.
Okay.
Because if we give politicians the time, go to December 2028, they will still tell you to blame APP for all their woes and pathologies. Yeah. It's not fair. We're not going to allow that to happen here. Okay.
No. Solo.
Very interesting. You see, there was a reason why I asked you to pause Alfred. From further embarrassing himself based on the data that he was sharing. He was misleading the people of this country. First of all, even on the issue of the missing containers, I heard Afenyo himself, Afenyo Martins, who was the board chair of ECG, collaborate the position of the energy minister that yes, indeed, it was a normal thing that happened at the electricity company of Ghana. They buy containers, it gets missing. So Alfred, it's the same reason why Kenofurata sacked you. No. If you allow Kenofurata to sack you, it means you are so incompetent. You see, Ken himself was incompetent. When we are talking, allow us to make the point.
Your trade minister was competent, so he stayed for 7 years.
Oh!
Enjoyed.
So go ahead.
You see, we are discussing energy ministry. Your incompetence got you out. Someone said that. So that one, there is no need for us to
What got Alan out?
Alan, he resigned from the. He
had the ideas. He had the ideas for 7 years.
He gave you the ideas. No, these people.
No, go ahead.
They will rot in opposition. These people.
Go ahead.
They don't even know how to be in opposition.
So we understand. Yes, so we are in government.
So clearly,
that you are government material.
the issue that we are discussing, I'm not too sure. I have sat here and said that this government is not responsible. Well, whether they like it or not, it is within their regime, and so they must fix it. You understand? But what I have said here, and I will never allow it to happen so long as I am alive, is to see or hear from incompetent two MPP people, Zato and Alfred, create the impression as though they did something serious. Zato is an MPP.
Go ahead.
You understand? So, we matter. Again, when he still he says, oh, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was the sitting vice president, had promised that given the opportunity, he would reduce electricity and make it as it was stable. Whereas he was the vice president, and when you pushed him but he was imposed. No. Are you in charge? Let's go into the oath that the president and the vice president swears. There's nothing different between the president and the vice president. It is the reason why the vice president have you.
The current vice president, Professor Jenana.
Of course, but who told you she's immune from that?
Maybe that is what she's polling so badly in the APP race. Maybe that is what she's polling so insignificantly in the APP.
The office of president ticket, the presidential ticket. Yes. This trick, I know it has been better. You must know that.
Now, because if you also say that we should blame Professor Jeno Pokonana, that is why probably the members I just saw.
I'll take it from there.
Just continue talking. That's what happened.
Yeah, he's getting things for a
So the president and the vice president, they swear to one oath. That oath makes that ticket one.
That's his lawyer.
As a matter of fact, when we are going into any major election, the running mates, have you ever seen the running mate's picture on the ballot? But why is that when we vote for the candidate and he wins, automatically the running mate becomes the vice president? It means the two of you are one. So this business of our attempt of trying to take out Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from the incompetence of your administration, if I were Nana Akufo-Addo, I would be so sad wherever I am. That deliberately a vice president that I worked with, that at a point that Nanado came to tell us that in his darkest moment, the very person that he confides with, strategized with, that Bawumia will come today through his assigns like Zato and then Alfred to come and
we should blame Professor Galamsey, right? We should blame the sitting president for this.
I am going to elect myself
in the central region. They don't have water to drink. We should blame the vice president, right? We should do that, right? We should blame the sitting vice president for that, right?
We should blame the vice president for that.
We should do that, right?
It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. We should blame the vice president.
He did for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But for Nana Akufo-Addo, who is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? And the man does all these things for you, and today you have the nerve to come and sit here that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was so in charge. When he had told you that when it came to digitalization, he was in charge. When it came to NHI, he was in charge. He single-handedly implemented 33 policies. Did he implement those 33 policies when he was sleeping, or where was he? What are we talking about here?
Okay. Mr. Thompson, I'll give you the final word briefly.
I'm so glad. And I'll quickly state the megawatts Nanado added onto the grid. But before I do that, let me state and let it be on record. Under no circumstances has Bawumia distanced himself.
But that's what you did.
The administration of Nanado.
Why were you asking Akabile that question? Now you interjected me.
This is not from the Backman. I am
look at that.
Under no circumstances has Dr. Bawumia distanced himself from Nanado. Listen, they work together.
You are destroying my
work together.
Allow people to talk. You fact the first and second thing. They work together.
They work together, and I'm very proud to be a member of Nanado's government, where we made sure that there were certain things we put in place. Now, when you look at his generation mix, he added, and this one you can just Google it and you get it. President Akufo-Addo's administration has added hundreds of megawatts to Ghana's national grid through various projects.
Hundreds of megawatts is very broad. I mean, hundreds of megawatts.
Okay, I'm giving you the breakdown. My brother.
No, go ahead.
Are you trying to be like this is solo?
I'm asking a question. I'm asking you to clarify. So it's yours to answer.
So now, you have the bridge power plant at Kong, the 200 megawatts that was commissioned under Nanado. When you go to Kalio Solar Power Project, you have the phase 1 and the phase 2. Kalio, yes, the phase 1, he had a 13 megawatts in 2022 and in another 15 megawatts in 2024.
So less than
making a
200
total,
megawatts.
oh please.
Okay, we are listening.
Making a total of 28 megawatts.
Okay.
Then you go to the bridge power plant at Pong. You commission a 200 megawatts plant.
You've mentioned that.
That's what I've mentioned.
You've mentioned that already.
So you go to Laura Solar Plant. You had the A6, the 6 megawatt solar plant project in the Upper West. Then you remember that he did the Bui, that's the floating water, that's the Bui. Why are you?
No, Mr. Thompson, go ahead. Mr. Thompson, go ahead.
He did the Bui water, that's the solar floating solar water.
How many megawatts?
Which he's added on to the.
How many?
Now, when you look at that, you said he hasn't added in
400 megawatts in 8 years. Muhammad did 2,500 megawatts in 4 years. This is what we are talking about. You see, this is what we are talking about.
Are you disputing the figures you've put out? It doesn't even come up to 300 megawatts.
Yes, in 8 years.
You said he hasn't added. So I am proving to you. Yes, I am proving to you that even the little that I can just
in 8 years less than 300. In 8 years less than 300.
Let me finish by coming to. You know this guy when he's talking. Sometimes I ask myself, is he in Ghana or because he's under the pay of certain people, so sometimes he does certain things that you know before what do you call it, before ECG went digitalization, you know how much they were getting in revenue. The highest at that time was 450 million Ghana cedis. Now in 2023, when they went digital under Dr. Baumia, when he was saying it, and they were insulting him. And today, they can sit here and say that he's a thief. Under his thievery, the revenue grew from, oh, please, right? Go Google.
I want to check because
Google.
You are going to lie.
The revenue grew from 450,000 and 450 million to 1.2 billion.
It's not true. What period?
That is it there.
What period?
That is it, 2023.
No, they showed me.
2023, monthly revenue increased to around 1.2 billion. Today, as we sit here, 2025, that is talking, 2025.
Let me never achieve that.
Peak performance, 2025. As you said, it's 1.7 billion. And you're asking me that, oh, am I shocked? I'm not shocked.
You are shocked.
Because someone used common sense and brains, and even under challenging circumstances, decided that, listen, let us go this way. Because one thing I love about Dr. Baumia, and I always say it, that one day when I sat down with him and I said, listen, some of these this and that you are always complaining about.
There's a
thievery here, there's thievery there, there's this thing here, there's that thing here. He said that, listen, it's not the change of the people that matters. Because I can change Solo, who is trouble, and go and bring another person. The person might even be worse than Solo. Okay. But we need to make sure that we digitalize the system. And make sure that when you do that, you are able to block some of the loopholes that are here.
What did you do?
They insulted him that he didn't know what he was doing.
What specifically did you do?
All right.
Specifically.
Yes, so,
digitalization is
what did Alan do? What did Alan do?
If you want me to, what we are going to do now is that's all the time would allow for conversation.
But you didn't make me land.
On the you have landed long ago. You started.
You didn't make me land. I was just doing this.
So what we are going to do is that we are going to briefly do just some short few seconds on the second topic that we earmarked to discuss. It's a report that has been put out by a US-based analytic institute that indicates that Ghana risks losing up to 67% of its youth to foreign countries. And if you look at the data that they put out in terms of the ranking, we are up there. I think we are number 3 actually. So Sierra Leone first. In terms of the exodus, people leaving the country, 81% Sierra Leone, Liberia 79%, and Ghana risk losing 67% as well. And so, I mean, it cannot be acceptable that some of our finest brains, for whatever reasons, whether you want to call it push or pull factors, decide to leave the country and seek greener pastures elsewhere. And so that is what has been looked at out of 106 countries. That is what they have on your screen. And I'll just do brief comments around the table quickly, straight to the point, and we'll wrap up. So I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty straightforward, but better the economic conditions back home, give the youth the assurance that they can have jobs. There are a lot of youth that were told that go to school, get your university degree, after that you'll be employed. They obeyed their parents, they obeyed society, they went to universities. They are done with university and they are home. One of the most demeaning things to ever encounter a human being is to wake up and don't know where to find the next available meal or where you are going to work. So to that extent, you would always get the situation. I believe that our policies that we are implementing must be long-term in nature, must be sustainable. We must have a data. I don't think, if you scan through almost all the critical websites, you don't seem to find the real numbers in terms of unemployment, even with the youth.
There are numbers.
We need to do that, get the real data. And it's out of this data that we can plan sustainable. How many of our youth want to be in, entrepreneurship? How many of them want to work in the public sector? How many of them want to be in the private sector? At the end of the day, there has to be this information. Again, we of the UP had said that it was difficult to was not right to be transitioning students from secondary school right away to university. What plans do we have in place to give them training, apprenticeship? Because now, whether you like it or not, it is evidently clear that this grammar education or over concentration on humanities is not what the system needs now. The system needs skilled personnel. You need seamstress, you need hairdressers, you need welders, you need carpenters, you need electricians, you need people with the IT backgrounds. But we are lacking there people that are painters. In this country, a lot of the painters are coming from Togo and Benin. What is so difficult for the Ghanaian to enter that space? But in all this, even in agriculture, we need that. Recently, when Burkina said they were going to ban their tomatoes from coming to Ghana, it became a crisis. Okay. And every problem is a solution. It's money in nature. So we must go back to this. But you can only do this when you have the data available to you to do just that. And invest our money. And also go after corrupt officials who are always preying on the limited resources that you and I give to them. Okay. Doc.
Oh. I thought you were going to come.
You're always thinking I'm doing something. No. Just listen to me.
Look. I'm saying that I'm not shocked by this. I'm not surprised. If you were a nurse sitting down there are thousands and thousands of them. You were promised automatic post, you didn't get it. Why won't you go out? If you were a teacher sitting down there and you were you were promised automatic post, why won't you go out? If you are sitting down there, you are an engineer, or you are a medical, household medical lab technician, and you were promised 3-hour shifts. The 24-hour economy was supposed to solve these problems. 24-hour economy, Yamutu, it has dead as shit. 24-hour economy is not. So what is happening now? You know what they do? You're not going to build a market in Tumu. There's already a market in my hometown, Tumu. You're going to build a second one, which is good. How would that solve the 24-hour economy problem? If you were a trader in Tumu market, they trade from morning to evening, meaning when they close, they go and sleep. Now you are going to put the market there. You think because in the new market there, the market woman will now say that let's sit the whole night and trade. My point is that the 24, you are seeing the failures of the 24. You are seeing that they are giving up on this government, and my worry is that they are giving up on the government too early within the system. They're giving a hope. Secondly, as I said, I don't see what is surprising. The government, I've seen the Minister of Labor actually arguing that they are looking for jobs for people in the Caribbean, right? They have gone there, they are trying to get Ghanaians to go, nurses to go there, and they're looking for jobs outside. It's the same thing. My point is that, look, what is happening is that the youth of this country, they have seen the writings on the wall. The writing is bleak for their future. 24-hour economy collapsed. There's nothing that is coming for them. And what do? They have to look for somewhere. Wherever you are going, I pray that the good Lord will take you there. You are going to hunt for butter and bread. I pray the good Lord takes you and bring you back safely. You are going to make sure that you are able to feed your family back home. I pray that you are safe. Whatever they are doing, you have a skill that you want, go and get it. Because you've lost hope in your country. Unfortunately, I cannot help you with that. Thank you.
Mr. Thompson.
Oh,
okay.
All them
I'm just asking that you are coming to me. I'm very
let me.
So when you look at
Mr. Thompson, go ahead.
So hey, this pay these people are paying. I have to ask how much they are giving you because you are so happy. When you come to World Bank reports, you realize that World Bank reports says that between the ages of 15 to 24 years, that the youth unemployment in 2024 was 5.3, which has now risen to 5.8 in 2085, which means that it's scaling up. Unemployment in totality in 2024 is 2.8, and now it's in 2025 is 3.0, which means that it's still scaling up. So you ask yourself, what happened to the 133? Agenda 133 turned into a song, It was a rhythm that everyone was playing. It was part of the lies that they eschew to the Ghanaian people. And I say that when you lie yourself into power, you still lying yourself in power, you have a big problem because it catches up with you. And that is what is happening today. The reports are showing that unemployment is still rising. Your 133, Agenda 133 that you've promised, you cannot even meet the one. How much more the three and the three? One job, 3 people, 3 shifts. What has happened? Instead of giving people jobs, when they came in, the first thing they did was to sack people. They dismissed people from the jobs that they are already in. They told them that, listen, we cannot pay you. Today, as we sit here, the finance minister has told us that he has to even go and borrow to pay wages. But meanwhile, they are telling us that the president is saying that they should increase the service fee from, from 10,000 to 20,000 or 40,000 within the 4 years. It tells you that they are still living in the kingdom of lies and deceit. They don't know what they are about. They don't know how they are going to pay people, but they are still telling us that, oh, we are employing. As we see here, teachers, for the last 14 months, some teachers that were employed have not been paid, and they are crying that they want wages. Meanwhile, they are telling us that they are going to take over 7,000 teachers onto the payroll. It tells us that the government is still sitting in deceit, in lies. They have lied to themselves that even when they are sitting there and they are lying to themselves, they believe that they are lying the truth to themselves.
Okay.
So these things would expose you.
Okay.
You cannot hide it forever. The figures will come out.
Okay.
And nobody, I put it on record, that nobody can sit somewhere and say that, oh, you are going to massage figures and one day.
Just like you were doing, just like what you wanted to do. You are right. We will not allow you to massage figures. You are right. You will never be allowed.
So Ghanaians are laughing at you.
They are laughing at you.
In 2024, the rate of unemployment, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, was 14.8.
Let's use World Bank.
14.8. That is about 15%. Presently, it's about 12.8. So it means even though we are not at the levels where we are doing way better.
You are the 1 million jobs that the president.
We are doing. Allow me. We are doing. We are.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We allow.
Yes.
We are doing. You see. We are. You don't believe.
It is not.
You are not. You don't believe in data churned by Ghana Statistical Service. You see.
You're still lying to yourself.
So it means, even though we are not at the levels where we want to be, we are doing way better than we inherited. And you see, Zato and Mr. Thompson are talking as if the figures we are looking at are actuals. They are not actuals, they are potentials. You see, what it means is that 67% of Ghanaians has indicated their willingness to want to travel. It doesn't mean they have traveled. So Zato saying, we wish you well, as if 67, it's a misinterpretation of data. And as an academic, you must pay attention to that.
As an academic, and you say what?
Yes, I'm coming.
No. Certain things.
I'm coming. Okay.
Allow him to speak.
You see, Zato was talking as if 67% of our able-bodied youth vote. So they are not gone, and it is not all that come to fruition. So let me proceed.
You see, no, Doc, hold on. You are deliberately not allowing this.
You see, and you see, my friends in MPP,
the microphones are all off. Only Abbas has the microphone. Abbas, go ahead.
My friends in MPP
Abbas, go ahead.
have to be fair to admit that this is a systemic problem. This is not a problem that started under President Mahama. And if we want to be fair and look at the issues dispassionately, we can collectively come up with solutions, because the primary push factor for migration is economic. We are churning out about 200,000 graduates every year who are looking for employment in the public service, and most of them had degrees in the humanities, which is less employable. So as a country, what do? We need to change our educational system, as President Mahama and the current education minister has indicated. We need to focus on skill development. We need to focus on building the entrepreneurial spirit of the people, so that once they come out of school, they will not look at government for employment. They can do something for themselves. And some of the desire to is cultural and mindset issue. Let me give you a typical example. I had a friend who was working at National Health Insurance. He was taking 15,000 a month. He had a side business. He was able to build a house. He fell for the allure of seeking greener pastures in Canada. He went to Canada for 2 years. He didn't get any job to do. He came back, and he's now on me to take him back to the very national health insurance that he rejected. So you see, some of them are mindset or cultural problem. They think the grass is greener elsewhere, but the grass can be way greener even in Ghana. So I think the challenge needs to be tackled holistically. That is why, for the first time in our history, President Mahama has set up a youth development ministry to look into issues that affect youth employment. And under the ministry, we have policies like a Jumera project, which has equipped about 10,000 startups with some financial support. We have the National Apprenticeship Program that is equipping people who have learned the skill with the machines. We have schemes that have been put in place to support startups in agriculture and agribusiness. Yes, I must admit we are not where we want to be, but President Mahama and the Youth Ministry had put in place the right mechanism to ensure that we are able to create the enabling environment for youth entrepreneurship to thrive.
My guest this morning on the big issue have been Solomon Owusu. Solomon Owusu is Director of Communication for the United Party. We're also joined in the studio by Alfred Kojo Thompson, former Deputy MD for the NIB. And Abbas Nuruddin is a legal practitioner. He's with the National Democratic Congress. He also joined us in the studio. Dr. Joshua Jebuntie Zato is a senior fellow APL and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana as well. Big Issue, as always, is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. And whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, University Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in international relations, communication, international marketing, international law, security, diplomacy, accounting, finance or human resource management, an LLM in international law, security, diplomacy, or an MA in biblical studies, practical theology, then a pathway is open. April admission is still ongoing, so you can apply today because at University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life and choose a route that fits your background, and pay in convenient installments as well. Your dream deserves structure, your future deserves strategy, your purpose deserves training as well. You can apply now at www.ugc.edu.gh, or you can call or WhatsApp 026-388-8555 as well. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. We'll take a quick break. That's what time will allow us. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. But this conversation about the desire of the youth to want to leave the country, we'll be talking to some young people. Christian Yale will be joining us. He's having an interaction with young people just to get into their minds to understand why they intend to leave the country, whether there are push factors here or there are pull factors in those countries that is leading them to leave the country. Stay tuned in. We'll be right back.
Mutala Yakubu is here with all the trending tidbits in the world of sports. Mutala, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Struggling a little bit with my nose and all, but it is well. Yeah. Yesterday, how did it end? UEFA Champions League.
I mean, it's something that I have never seen before. 9 goals in a semi-final. I mean, I knew there were going to be goals, but I didn't know it was going to be this much. It was attack after attack, just bring goals. And Princess to Hunt is a team that is based in his country. But Ousmane Dembele, the current UEFA Champions League president, also the current UEFA Champions League, one of the top scorers, also scoring, and also the current Ballon d'Or winner, coming to bear and showing his quality again with that sublime, because it's just 1 goal separating them, 5-4, and this is no penalty shootout, open play, 9 goals scored. Right. Tells you the quality that these two teams have.
Yesterday, I asked Billy Shen which team is likely to pick the Champions League. What would you say? Is it difficult to tell?
Difficult, but I think Paris Saint-Germain are in a good place.
PSG's more likely, right?
More likely.
Okay.
They are in a good place.
Okay.
More likely.
All right.
The second leg will give us a clear picture. But today, there's another game that Bill Shen's club, Arsenal, would also be involved in. They are not having a lively at all. They are coming up against Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano in Spain. It's going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. But if they can get a favorable result in this one ahead of the second leg, then they would have a shot at the UEFA Champions League. They've never won it before. And they've made several attempts in 2000. Arsenal, yeah. They were in the final in 2006, lost to Barcelona. They've been in a few semi-finals. So this presents an opportunity for them to win it for the first time. And it looks like this time they are not letting their guards down and want to really put their hands on the UEFA Champions League.
Well, Engineer Samoa, good morning to you. All the best today. So what time is that match today?
7 p.m. today.
Okay. All right. So we'll be on the lookout for all the fallouts tomorrow, right here on TV3 Newday. Let's continue with dual citizenship when it comes to playing football.
It's a very delicate subject. Currently, that is what is being debated on social media, whether we should allow a lot of dual nationals to play in our league, or we should leave a quota for the locally based players to also enter into the Black Stars. It's a subject that is very delicate. And former Black Stars winger Albert Adoma, remember him? 2013, he was with the team. We played in that AFCON. He was with the team in Brazil as well. Many forget that he was part of the Black Stars World Cup squad for the Brazil tournament. And he has spoken about the subjects, and he feels that everyone who is Ghanaian should be given equal opportunity.
Let's take a look.
For me, it's not difficult. If the player is available and he wants to come, it shouldn't be a problem. I understand maybe, yes, they haven't played qualifiers and they're coming straight to the World Cup, then that's a different topic. But if they're Ghanaian, you have to welcome them. And that's how I see this topic, because you want your best players to be there. But I understand the frustration of people, especially when you're a player, and then someone just comes in and take your players, then you will be devastated. I understand that from a player's point of view, but if the technical staff members think, look, these are the players that maybe might get us to the semi-finals or final, then they should be welcomed. Every player that's Ghanaian, it doesn't matter if you play in Europe or wherever you play, if you're good enough and they think that you are the best player for that team, they should be called up on. Unless, obviously, like I said, they haven't been part of their qualifying, then that's a different subject.
I don't know what the conclusion would ever be, but
it's a subject that will never go away. By the way, he hasn't retired. He's 38.
He's still playing.
And he's still playing football for Warsaw in the League 2 in England. So it says that if you're good enough, irrespective of where you were born, you should be given the opportunity. Once you're Ghanaian, you should be given the opportunity to be in the Black Stars.
All right. Let's move on to other things this morning. We are prepping for the Olympic Games in 2028, and I'm told that the Black Queens have never qualified.
No, they've never qualified for the Olympic Games. It's the Black Meteors who have qualified before, but the last time we did so was in Athens 2004. Asamoah was a young player playing then, so it's a long time ago. But the Queens would be in the CAF draw, and would get to know their opponents through the qualification series. 2028 Olympic Games would also be played in the United States in Los Angeles, and our women's football expert Akosi AJ has more on that.
In 1996, women football was introduced into the Summer Olympics in Atlanta. Several tournaments down the line, and the senior national women's team, the Black Queens of Ghana, are yet to make an appearance at the tournament. The last time the Queens came close to making it was for the Paris Olympics under coach Nora Upla. The Queens were able to successfully sail through the first and second rounds. However, in the third round, Zambia booted the Queens out after the Queens suffered a 1-0 defeat here at the Accra Sports Stadium in a 3-3 draw back in Zambia. For the 2028 competition, which will be staged in LA, CAF will be conducting the draw for 35 teams that will be participating in the qualifiers for women football. This will mean that the Queens have yet another chance to see if, under coach Kemlas Bjorkegren, they will be able to make it into the Olympics. But they would have to know their route, and on the 29th of April 2026, the Queens will know their route and hopefully set a mission that can be achieved in 2028.
That's a mission that can be achieved. All the best to the Black Queens. I do hope that this time around they qualify. So when is the draw?
Yeah, the draw would actually be conducted this week,
Okay.
and we are set to know our opponents.
Right.
It's something that is very important to us because the Queens have never been there before. For the Meteors under 23, they've been there. And with Kim Lasberkegren at the helm of affairs, it looks like the Queens have a bright future. And for the first time, we may qualify for the Olympic Games in Los Angeles, which you would have to be there to cheer them on.
2028, of course, the Black Queens.
Yeah.
I'm always for them.
Yeah.
They already know. So 2028, God willing, we will be there
Yeah.
to cheer them on. Anyway, let's close with tennis updates.
Yep.
What's happening?
Yannick Sinner, the Italian, proving strong again. And
Mutala, thank you very much for
welcome.
coming this morning. Please, today's match is critical.
Very
Engineer
critical.
Samoa is watching. So it's Arsenal and who again?
Atletico Madrid.
We'll talk about it tomorrow in the
Yes.
morning. All the best to both teams, especially Arsenal, because I know the Arsenal fans in Ghana, the fan base is really huge.
Very.
Anyway, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with a lot more here on TV3 Newday.
report and what it's saying about youth moving from Ghana to other parts of the world and the discussions that we had on the big issue. But I want to give you a bit more data as regards really what the situation is like for Ghana and, of course, some other African countries. Now, if you take about 106 countries losing youth, Ghana ranks among the most severely affected on the planet. And this is what the Gallup report is telling us. Of course, Sierra Leone, another West African country, is leading with some 81% of its youth moving from that country to find greener pastures elsewhere. Again, in Liberia, you have 79% of the youth moving from the country to other parts of the world, trying to get better life. And right here in Ghana, which is the focus of our conversation this very moment, the Gallup report is telling us that we have about 67% of our youth moving from Ghana to other parts of the world. Now, again, the report is indicating that the country is suffering a massive extraction of its college-educated population. So these are not people who are not even educated. At least they've had a college education, what you call the senior high school education. And of course, Ghana listed among countries experiencing this largest global losses of the unwanted task force. So let me again tell you perhaps where they are going to. Western economies are actively absorbing Ghana's premier talent. Canada, you have about 225 plus, and then moving to Australia, 203 plus. Northern America, that's still within the Canada and other areas. And of course, Europe having about 40. And these are the people who are leaving in terms of the categories and their skills. You have doctors and medical staff. You recall that somewhere in 2023, also around April, we had reports that the UK had put some 53 countries on red list, stopping the medical professionals from moving from those countries to their countries to seek greener pastures. And they were predominantly medical officers, and we were told at the time that there were about 3,000 to 6,000 individuals within the field, the medical field, moving. And so the UK felt that the country or the countries where these individuals were coming from would suffer. The reason it issued the red alert or put those countries on red alert, but we still seem to be experiencing that, looking at the fact that the Gallup report is now painting a clearer picture for us, losing about 67% of our youth. So it's not just within the medical field, you're also looking at engineers, really specialized fields going outside of the country to seek greener pastures. And of course, tech talent with the world of AI and a number of countries employing a lot of these, as it were, softwares to improve what happens in their countries. So it means that if you have them leaving, they are going to better other countries whilst you continue to suffer. And of course, skilled corporate professionals as well. A number of people talking about how much labor they're giving and yet not getting the commensurate or the adequate salaries that they need. I don't know what you think about this, Cookie. I'm coming to you because that's really something that we touched on briefly even early in the morning before we started talking about the big issue conversation. This must be something that the government must really be worried about.
And that's the question you asked, and I'll ask it again. That of what use is a country's development when its most educated citizens are leaving? And are we really thinking about the long-term effects of this sort or this magnitude of migration? Are we thinking of what it's going to do to our health sector, educational sector, agriculture? Because that's where food sustenance and everything else is coming from. But the very important question that we may want to ask this morning, Beatrice, is what in particular are we running away from? Are we running away from a broken system? Are we running away from the lack of opportunity? Are we running away from the lack of jobs? Exactly what are our youth running away from that we are seeing this magnitude of migration? It's a very serious issue that must be looked at. I mean, Ghana #3 when it comes to the global numbers is very, very scary. And we just want to go on to some of our universities or tertiary institutions this morning and ask exactly what is happening. Christian Yali, I'm told, is in one of our tertiary institutions. I believe that would be UPSA. He's there to engage with some of the students to ascertain what exactly the issues are with the loss of our youth or the issue of migration. Christian Yali, if you can hear us, good morning.
Good morning, Cookie.
Yes, how are you doing, Christian?
Very awesome. I'm doing great. How about you?
Very well, by the grace of God. Well, it's a very grave issue we are looking at this morning. And the question is, why are our youth running away to go and develop other countries? We've asked a question in the studio, and I asked again, and I said, of what use is the development of Ghana if our sharpest, well-educated brains are leaving to go and develop other countries? Christian, take the story away.
We are right at the University of Professional Studies Accra, UPSA campus, and it is one issue that has been of great concern over the years. And this report, the Gallup report, is only telling us more about how dire the situation has been over the years. And Cookie and Beatrice, when you look at the report, another angle of it even talks about the fact that over the years we've seen that the desire or want of people to travel to countries like the United States of America has dwindled. And so when you look at last year, people are beginning to lose their desire or want. So mind you, let's make it clear that this is not talking about people who are already moving, but it is talking about those who have the desire or perception, those who feel that when they get the opportunity, they are going to leave the country to pursue greener pastures elsewhere in other countries. We talk about the USs, the Canadas, the Australias, and the rest of them. And so we are here on campus. That question you ask is very critical. Why are the youth leaving? What are they running away from? In fact, I've seen people say that in Ghana, when you want to avoid certain problems, you need to work really hard, Cookie yourself, Beatrice yourself, work really hard, make enough money so that certain problems would not affect you. Why must that be the case? Why is it that a certain class of people would be exempt from certain problems and they wouldn't be affected by what happens in their lives by way of how they live, where they move to, comfortability, and the rest of them? So I have about 4 students of the University of Professional Studies Accra with me this morning that I am going to engage them to gauge their thoughts, really, what they make of this report that Ghana is risking losing about 67% of its workforce. Like you mentioned, these are not people you say do not have education. So, gentlemen and lady, join me here. These are not people you say do not have education. They are literate, they are educated. You have engineers in the list, you have medical workers in the list, and the rest of them. And so, maybe I'll start from my right here. Chanel, when you hear such a report, what comes to mind?
When I hear such a report, the first thing that comes to mind about the reason why most of the Ghanaian youth now are migrating is because of the economy we are facing now, because of some challenges. And I feel most of the privileges are given to people who have connections. So it is difficult to start a life in Ghana here, since only few are given the chance to. Only few can start in Ghana and then make it big time. But most of the times when you go outside the country, like to the UK and then like Canada and everything, the possibility is very high, very, very high, that you're going to make life and make it big over there, and then you come back here and try to do something. So
I will ask almost every one of you the same question about when you get the chance, whether you will take it and you will move. But let me start from you, Richard. Rich, when you should get the chance right now, that let's say you are reading law, right? And I think almost all of you are reading law, right? So when you should have the chance right now to say that, hey, there's an opportunity for you to practice in the UK, there is an opportunity for you to practice in Canada, are you going to take that opportunity, and would you desire to stay there permanently?
All right. Yes, very well. If the opportunity comes up, I will be willing to take it, because I believe when you look at the wage structure in Ghana, as well as the available opportunities when it comes to practicing law, to be specific, I mean, when you go to the UK or other European countries, I mean, there are a lot of diverse areas or opportunities that you can leverage on to be able to build yourself and also to make a good living for yourself compared to the situation that we have in Ghana here. Because when you're a student or a fresh graduate and you come out, the job opportunities are less, and then also the waging structure and all of that is something that is really affecting most of the students or the graduates. So yes, if the opportunity comes, I'll willingly take it and go out.
You willingly take it, but I mean, Precious, what would be a factor or some of the factors that will cause you to desire or have the perception or have the want to move out of country, out of Ghana, whether permanently or temporarily?
Okay, so when we talk about moving out of the country, you know, in Ghana, it's about who you know, your connections, the family.
I mean, these days they say, who knows you?
Yeah, who you know, yes, the family you're from, your family's name. So if, let's say, you finish school, University of Professional Study, you've graduated, and now you finish your NSS and you don't have the job, you don't have anything to do, what you've actually studied in school is not even in relation to the job you want to do. Let's just assume that your father or you don't have anyone in that particular company you want to work in, then it means it's a no-no. You don't have any work to do. So you would intend to now like work in a provision shop, or you start a food business, or you start a cell phone case, or whatever you would do to make more money. You get it?
These are popular thoughts, and we've all come across it one way or the other that, yeah, to who knows you, and you know, despite your, you know, capabilities and all of that, you may not have that. But don't you think that once you have the skill set, once you're qualified, once you have all that it takes to win a particular job title, you should be able to win it by presenting your CVs and everything?
No, it doesn't work like that every time here in Ghana. It's about who you know, honestly, because you can apply, unless maybe it's teaching or something, but you can apply to a particular company you want to work with, and they'll be like you don't qualify, not because you don't have what it takes to work in that particular company, but it's because you don't have anyone that will like step forward for you to be like, oh, I know this guy, he's very good at what he does. But because you don't know anybody, so you find yourself wanting. Yes, thank you so much.
I'll come to you now, Hubert. Hubert, so what would be some of the countries that, should you get a chance right now, you'd want to go? I mentioned Canada, I mentioned UK, there is Australia in the list, you know, Venezuela, all of those glass and qua. Should you get a chance right now, what would be some of those countries that you would prefer to move to?
Should I get a chance, I'd like to move to the UK.
Why the UK?
So it's a common law country, right? There are certain things that we do here that are also done there, and vice versa. So I'd like to move there because practicing the law, for instance, would be better. In Ghana here, we don't have certain opportunities when it gets to practicing the law. There is a cap, the Makola. I hope we've all heard of it. Yeah. Not all of us are able to enter. Not everybody is able to enter.
But at least on that front, we know the government has brought the legal education reforms bill, which has been passed now, which is going to make it possible that for every school that has a law school, you are able to administer. Once you meet the criteria, you have your, you know, examination, the licensure exam and all of that. You know, so that is fine. But maybe take yourself out as a law student. Look at yourself as any other Ghanaian youth. Why would you want to move to the UK? What are you running away from?
I'm running away from the difficulty here. Sometimes you get the work, you get the job to do, but then the income isn't enough. Yeah, when you travel abroad, the income opportunities are more than you can get over here. For instance, I heard lawyers, we as lawyers, we get about 1,000 something a month or something, I don't know. But then when you travel abroad, it is more. And we can't have less opportunity here when there is more outside there. So everybody would like to run.
Everybody would like to run and retain. So you will retain?
Yeah, I would actually retire here in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make much more money in the States, okay, and I'll come back here.
It means that you prefer going to the United States.
Yes, United States of America, yeah.
Of America, United States. I like the little accent, United States of America.
So it's better to earn more money and retire here in Ghana, because here is where you were born, your culture, everything is here, right? And it's also better to invest in businesses here in Ghana. So as you work outside there, you invest in Ghana, and the cost of living out there is really high. So comparing retiring in the United States would be too much. Yeah,
it would be too much. That is precious. It will be too much. But I'll come to you, Shino. But before, Rich, so do you believe that, or have the faith that Ghana can make things better, so that most of the workforce like yourselves who would soon graduate would want to be here and harness your talent here? Or you also believe or side with her that, okay, let me go out, make enough money, then I'll come back to live life the way I want in Ghana?
Yeah, well, I believe very much that Ghana can make things better for the youth or people who are in need of employment and all of that. But then change is a gradual process. It's progressive. So even though if I want change now, it would take a long time in coming. So I believe in the interim, running away or going somewhere else to seek better opportunities for yourself and making yourself better or building yourself and coming back to give back to Ghana is like the best solution right now, because currently things are not good as it stands. So in the interim, I believe that yes, seeking greener pastures elsewhere will be like the ideal. Do you agree to the same? And maybe have you also heard stories of some of your seniors who might have graduated and to date they do not have job? Do some of those stories scare you to also want to more or less pursue a different course, move out of the country, do better for yourself, like your colleagues are saying?
No, it doesn't actually scare me, because we all have the motivation that we are going to school. One person's situation cannot define your situation. So we have faith that we could actually come out and then get opportunities. But then the possibility is a 50-50 thing. So most people want to travel, go and make the money and later come. As he said, like trying to get Ghana to that stage will be difficult, because you alone cannot do it. You are talking about a whole country, so we need, like, it will take a group of people and it will take time to get Ghana there. Ghana is not bad. Ghana is a developing country, so with time, gradually we are going to get there. So yes, I would also like to go and study outside, work outside, make the money, live happily with my family, have a comfortable life where everything is okay, and then afterwards you come back after some time and try to make Ghana the better country we all want.
But Rich, I mean, I was just somewhere last month. I was in the UK, for instance, and when you meet some Ghanaians over there, they tell you that, hey, Jack, Abrabono and Tessa de Amumuhunu, no. Okay, things are not all rosy, all nice like you see, because I want to press. So you see, you'll be pressed by the chilly weather. I know very soon they'll get to the autumn where things will be a little, and they tell you that it gives you the impression that, see, it's not all rosy. Why do you youth still think or perceive that just by the mere fact that you're moving to the US or to the UK will make things better for you? Let me start with you, Hubert.
So it's not all rosy though. But then the point I'm trying to make is the opportunities here are less. When you travel out there, the opportunities are more. And then that's what we are looking for. It could be a matter of a struggle situation, but then for the fact that there are opportunities there, anybody would like to move to get better. Yeah.
What do you say? What do you say to that? I mean, it's not all rosy. It's not all rosy. Why do most of the youth think that just by moving to another country, things become better overnight? Oh, you work hard.
Well, it's not overnight though. Yes, that's where faith comes to play in. Yes. So if, let's say, I move out of the country or you move out of the country and you are now doing better for yourself, that doesn't mean that I'll also be doing better for myself if I get there. We are just trying You get it? And we are hoping and praying that if we get there, things will get better.
Okay, maybe I'll put the same to you, Chanel, and I'll ask a different question. It's not all rosy.
It's not all rosy anyway.
The greener pastures, there are places that the grasses are yellow. It's not green, you know.
It's not all rosy everywhere. There, here. But then, first of all, I would like to, use the currency as a comparison. So taking our CD and comparing it to the dollar or euros or anything, their currency is more valuable than ours. Even in as much as when you get the money there, you have a lot of bills to pay, you have a lot of things to do with the money, but then the little money you get, when you come to Ghana, you change the body to see this is still war. Do you understand? And then I feel survival of the fittest. So once you go there, the aim is to work hard. Some people can work hard from Monday to evening, stay or they are and they do everything, and then still they don't really make the money as compared to someone just with one job outside. Yeah.
Great stuff. I mean, Rich, what sayest thou? In all of this soapbox rant over and all of this quagmire, like some would call it, you are losing medical personnel, doctors, nurses. I know government has deliberate programs that allow nurses to go to other countries, which is more or less like exchange, sort of, yeah? But you're losing engineers as well. You're losing corporate skilled staff, personnel. Doesn't that paint a gloomy picture of a country?
Yeah, it does very much, because if most of your resource personnel are traveling out or seeking greener pastures elsewhere, then it should tell you that, okay, there's something wrong or something is not being done right. But then I also believe that Ghana could actually improve on that, maybe by working on its wage structure, improving, maybe bringing about competitive waging, and also, if possible, put out a policy that if you are trained in Ghana, if you're a professional and you are trained in Ghana, before your visa could be granted for you to travel elsewhere, maybe you should be able to practice in Ghana for a certain number of time before you should be allowed to go out. That way you give back to Ghana before you go outside there to also do your own.
So guys, we have just about some 3 minutes left. I'm going to pick your random thought, no direct question. This issue about Ghana risking or at risk of losing about 67% of its youth. These are people who have the perception, who have the desire to leave the country for all the reasons that you've all highlighted. In all of this, what are your thoughts? You've all indicated that once you get the opportunity, you're going to leave. You've listed your reasons and all of that. Don't you think we should all stay in this country and build a country together? We'll make money here. And your random thought, just one minute. Okay, no, 30 seconds, yeah.
So my thought about all of this, we just want the best for this country, and as I stated, if I leave this country, I'm not going to live there permanently. I'll bring back the money to the country and do something better. Yeah. Do
something better. Okay, Hubert. Yeah, you have a class this morning. Yeah. When you go to your class, are you going to talk to your colleagues that, hey, guys, let's stay in Ghana? We shouldn't go elsewhere. Are you going to give that advice or Yamutu?
The thing about it is there is no persuasion. You can try to convince somebody to do something, but then when it isn't working, when there is no evidence of the actual product of it, it is not going to work. Yeah, so we cannot live in a country or in a place where you are not comfortable enough to stay. You are always going to look for something more. So if there is an opportunity for you to get that, anybody would get that. I would get that.
So Jakpa?
So Jakpa.
You Jakpa?
Of course.
You're going to Jakpa? To the US?
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you the same questions. We are winding down. So you also want to Jakpa?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, but then I want to go and then steady work, make it and come back so that it will benefit Ghana. Our next generation could also stay in Ghana, and then Ghana also be considered that country everyone would want to go to, rather than going there, staying, and then
So
we have to make Ghana a better place.
A better place. So you all want to establish some businesses here? You establish some businesses here. Your law firm, which will be charging huge sums of money.
Oh, definitely. Well, as I stated earlier on, change is progressive, and it will take a while for us to get to where we want to be. But then it's really a matter of putting things into perspective and then weighing your options and taking calculated risk. So when you look at the conditions outside and then the conditions in Ghana, which one favors me more, even though both of them have disadvantages or bad side effects, which one favors me more? And then you decide on which one will work out for you very well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your thoughts on this issue. Maybe does any of you want to send a direct message to President Mahama that, see, President Mahama, you have come, you are doing a few things, okay? This is what I want you to do. Just 10 seconds. Any of you wants to give that shot, then we end the conversation. Who wants to give that shot? Who wants to? I think Chanel can do that, or Precious. Chanel will do that for us.
Okay,
yes.
So me, I would only plead that there should be creation of more job opportunities. Once the youth are able to get these job opportunities, everybody wouldn't want to go out. You see, would all believe we can make something because everyone is going. Why not stay? You see, and get the money here. So creation of more job opportunities would help. And it's not only to him. We as individuals, there are different ways of creating employment. So if establishing your own, like we as lawyers or upcoming lawyers, we could start with our firm. We shouldn't only have the mindset that we are going to work for others. We could also start something and also employ others. Indirectly, it's helping to reduce the unemployment rate in our country.
Great stuff. Thank you. Hubert, Precious, Chanel, Richard. I appreciate your thoughts. See, Cookie, Beatrice, you hear what they've said. It's so amazing when you listen to all these fantastic thoughts. Yes, calculated risk is there. When you get the opportunity, you may want to go, build yourself, build your buffer, do something great for yourself, then you come back to the country to help grow the country and build Ghana into the status that you would want it to be. And so that is where we end our conversation. But like I indicated from the beginning, when you look at another aspect of the report, it tells you that you see the US over the last year has been bringing a lot of immigration restrictions and all of that. So all those are factored into a decline in people's desire to move out of their countries to seek greener pastures. All of those are the mixed box of the issues that would want to look at the country going forward. And I know the policy makers who have listened to this student would take a cue from there and will do things right. I broadcast live from the UPSA. I am Christian Yale with my cameraman John Hypens. Over to you, but I'm asking you the same questions. Are you going to jackpot? You two, Beatrice and Cookie, I'll leave it to you.
And to answer that question, I would just say on behalf of the youth of this country, we'll plead with government to do all it can to provide the right platform for education, to provide development in the country so that what the youth are running away from, they can find here. Because let me tell you, as an international traveler, by the grace of God, being able to go to many places in this world, I can attest to the fact that the life we have here in Ghana, you cannot compare to anywhere in the world. The only difference, perhaps I would say, is they have better health facilities than we do have here, maybe better educational systems than we have here. But even when it comes to food, they would always tell you that the food we have here in Ghana and in Africa is even more organic than we have over there. I was in the UK recently. 2-3 days into my stay, I was breaking out on my face because the quality of food over there is not like we have here. And sometimes until you get the exposure to travel, you will not agree with some of these things that we say. Look, if you're in Ghana, by the grace of God, if you're able to secure a job that maybe pays you between 3,000 to 6,000 a month. I'm just saying, I know it's not across board, it's not the same for everyone. But what I'm saying is, if you have a job that pays you regularly, I mean, you're able to get by. If you get the opportunity to travel outside, by all means, take it. If you get the opportunity, I'm not saying go and struggle and sell properties and all that. If you get the opportunity to travel for vacation, for holiday, by all means, do it. But without documentation, without the proper channel, if you just want to jackpot in the name of hardship here in Ghana, listen, I promise you with everything that I know about travel, you would go there and in a few years, you would regret it so much that you want to come back, especially when you don't have the right type of documentation to stay out there. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful to go there. It's beautiful to enjoy everything that they have. But some of the opportunities that we have when we go there, some of our friends look at us like, Nagana hono, what's saying?
Yeah.
There are better opportunities here. It's only that the government must do a lot more to secure these opportunities for us in Ghana. One of my friends would always say that Ghana is not designed or is not youth-friendly. And we can debate about that. Yeah. And it's, when you think about
when it comes to job opportunities, a lot more people advanced in age.
Government, be up and doing. If you're up and doing, we'll not be losing all our youth to the outside world. We'll stay here, build our country, and when we do get the opportunity to travel for vacation or to just go and enjoy a little bit or maybe just change of atmosphere, we will do that and come back. So please, government.
I think you've just said it all, but on a bit about the food, it's just quite interesting. 3 days when I was away, I was looking for where I could get something very close. And eventually when I found the African market, it's like
and sometimes you will not know these things until you travel. When they come here, they enjoy our food so much that, listen, our food is so organic. What is out, GMO, genetically modified organisms. Listen, Yate. Let's get into birthdays this morning. I'm sure people are watching us this morning and they're saying, you don't know what you're saying. I pray that everybody will get the opportunity to travel. But when you travel and you go out there, then you will understand. Let's get into birthdays. Shadrach, leave us alone. Let's get into birthdays this morning. Samuel Nana Yao Ejay, happy birthday to you, cute one. Please go and stay in Ghana. You need to develop Ghana. Capricorn GH, co-CEO of All Events Ghana, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. All right. Isaac Kofi Yeboah, happy birthday to you. Have a very, very beautiful one. Kenneth Sana Jomoke, it's also your birthday. Happy birthday to you, beautiful. I said beautiful, handsome. Abdul Hamid, happy birthday to you as well. Moving on to celebrate Lady Kiki Obobi Watson, happy birthday to you. And then Betty Frances Laurentia, Nana Araba Beidu, happy birthday to you. Lawrence and Laurentia, happy birthday to you as well. Beatrice, please help me.
Yes, Laurentia and, Lauren.
Special birthday of a special someone to me. Salma of Dieters on IG. Amazing sister of mine. Very beautiful. She used to be my workout partner until she got married, yes. And she's still looking banging. Salma of Dieters on IG. Please, happy birthday to you. Oh, Coco, so you won't put the picture on the screen for me? Coco, the machine, wake the machine up. But
this
Salma,
is a Roland Walker
yes,
kind
yes,
of fight.
I know, right? Oh, Coco, so the picture will not come.
I will not continue.
Anyway, Salma, happy birthday to you. All right, have a gorgeous day. Enjoy the rest of our programming. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. I am Cookie T and...
My name is Beatrice. Thank you so much for joining us.